This page is the dynamic front cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, featuring the prominent titles Blue Stinger and Sonic Adventure. This issue, dated September 25, 1998, volume 26, was priced at 420 yen. The cover highlights a supersonic scoop report for Sonic Adventure and exciting news regarding the future Dreamcast platform, with Dreamcast special feature announcing two new major titles, Seventh Cross, Pen Pen Tricelon, and Godzilla Generations. For the Saturn console itself, the magazine teases expected new titles, including Derby Stallion, Sakura Wars, Taigeki Graph, Martian Successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, and Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. Additionally, strategy guides are featured for Slayers Royal 2, Bakure Loaders, and Black Matrix. The artwork features the magazine's large logo over a bright blue background, with abstract shapes and glowing elements, likely representing visuals from the highlighted games. This page features a striking visual dominated by a stylized Earth-like planet glowing brightly on the left, partially obscured by a powerful, vibrant red and orange light streak that slashes diagonally across the image. The background is a dark, star-filled space. Prominently displayed in large orange text is the title D2. Below this text it reads, Coming in Winter. D2 runs UNC. To the right, partially hidden by the light streak, is a narrative description. This text describes the protagonist, Laura, experiencing a mysterious vision, seeing terrifying-looking men, her aircraft being hit, a crash, being rescued, and waking up to a horrifying story. This page serves as an early teaser for the upcoming Dreamcast title, D2, setting a mysterious and intense tone with its dramatic imagery and snippets of the game's plot involving the character Laura. This page features a dramatic tagline for D2 on Dreamcast, declaring that something terrifying lies beneath the frozen soil in Canada and now it is awake. The accompanying text elaborates on the game's plot setup, placing the horror story in Canada on Christmas 1999. It details an aircraft encountering a massive meteorite, an accident involving terrorists, and the meteorite causing a crash landing. The protagonist is involved in this major incident, rescued by a woman named Kimberly, and awakens in a hut in a snowy mountain, only to face dreadful mutants or monsters. The narrative poses the central mysteries: how the accident happened, why people are turning into monsters, and promises the unveiling of a mystery and tragic destinies within the dangerous mountain setting. This reinforces the game's intense survival horror premise established on the previous page, highlighting a blend of cosmic horror, meteorite, and biological horror, mutants. The colored squares likely allude to Warp, the game's developer. This page showcases Simulation RPG Tsukuru, the simulation RPG maker software for both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. It emphasizes the game's robust creation features, allowing players to design their own tactical RPGs that go beyond simple strategy, letting entire legions of units embark on adventures. You can plan character progression through job changes and manage items, all without needing specialized programming knowledge. The page confirms the software was released on September 17, 1998, priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. Additionally, it promotes the 4th ASC2 Entertainment Software Contest, inviting entries for creative software projects between July 1 and August 31, 1999, with a significant grand prize of 10 million yen. The artwork depicts typical fantasy units like warriors, mages, monsters, and chibi-style characters set on a tactical grid map, visually representing the type of game players could create with this software. This page delves deeper into the features of Simulation RPG Tsukuru, showcasing the tools available for creating a custom tactical RPG. It highlights key systems like directing the story through character conversations, complete with portrait graphics to convey personality. Map creation is flexible, allowing players to assemble diverse terrains such as plains, caves, and ships, then populate them with interactive elements and events. The software also provides robust item creation, essential for designing combat mechanics and balancing gameplay. Character progression is detailed, emphasizing a rich job system where characters can learn skills and change classes based on specific conditions, offering substantial growth potential. Screenshots illustrate these functionalities, demonstrating everything from dialogue windows and map editing to battle setups and the intricate job branching system. Information regarding the ASC2 Entertainment Software Contest application process is included at the bottom. The next page is the contents page for the SEGA Saturn magazine, September 25, 1998 issue. It outlines the features within, focusing heavily on the upcoming Dreamcast console. Articles include Dreamcast Magazine Volume 4, showcasing new title announcements, and a deep dive into the survival horror game Blue Stinger, featuring an interview with sound designer Jun Senue, and behind-the-scenes details from an announcement event. The highly anticipated Sonic adventure is also covered, teasing its storyline set in July of 1999. Other featured titles include the racing simulation Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation, the monster game Godzilla Generations with an interview from the movie's producer, July 7th Cross, and Pen Pen Tricelon. The contents also include sections dedicated to the latest Dreamcast information. Artwork of Dr. Eggman from the Sonic series appears on the right side. This page serves as the main game index and contents listing for the SEGA Saturn magazine issue. It provides a roadmap to the articles within, prominently featuring SEGA Saturn titles. A major focus is highlighted with a special report on the horse racing simulation, Derby Stallion, covered extensively, starting on page 76. The highly anticipated Shining Force 2i Scenario 3 is featured with coverage on page 110. The page also lists upcoming software, including titles such as Digital Monster Verse and the train simulation Denkisha de Go X on page 136. New releases like Capcom Generations and a new entry in the Sankyo Fever series are listed on page 155. For those seeking assistance, a complete guide for Bakkenroder and the RPG Black/Matrix is provided, starting on page 158. The main game index section on the right lists SEGA Saturn titles alphabetically by their Japanese reading, with corresponding page numbers. Notable entries include Sakura Wars, P130, Pia Carrot e Yukoso, 2, Welcome to Pia Carrot, 2, P118, and Digital Monster, P140. A section for Dreamcast titles is also included, listing games like Sonic Adventure and Blue Stinger, among others, though the primary focus here is clearly on the SEGA Saturn library. This page is dedicated to the 36th Amusement Machine Show, held from September 17th to 20th at Tokyo Big Sight. The event, themed A Bountiful Heart Born from Play, featured a massive arcade zone with major players like Sega, Capcom, Namco, and Konami among the 75 exhibiting companies, showcasing their latest arcade titles and prize machines. Beyond the arcades, there were also publishing, family, and related zones, along with a charity auction and stage events. Screenshots highlight some key titles from the show: Star Wars Trilogy Arcade from Sega, Capcom's giant robot fighter, Tech Romancer, and Tecmo's popular fighting game Dead or Alive++. A detailed list shows the video games exhibited by various companies at the show. In addition to games, the show featured other attractions, like prize items, including 66 different items based on the space battleship Yamato anime series from Banpresto, and arcade-specific prizes like a remote-controlled Mazinger/Getter robo-item set to appear in January. Konami also had a significant presence beyond just games. This page covers a variety of exciting news and events. Koei, the developers known for historical simulations, are changing their name to Koei on September 1st to mark their 20th anniversary, adopting a new concept of quality and satisfaction. In other news clips, there's a special event for a limited edition Fujisaki Shibori bus card release, a giveaway for tickets to a play model and radio control fair, and the classic anime, Ganba's Adventure, is coming to video with a chance to get a keyholder gift. The new Ultraman series, Ultraman Gaia, has also just started airing, introducing 2 new heroes. And for fans of cosplay, SNK is hosting an official cosplay event on September 23rd. SEGA Saturn players have an event to look forward to as well. On September 20th at the Saturn Joyopolis, you can learn more about RPGs, featuring Shining Force 2i Scenario 3, and the creators of the Shining Force series will be there. Mega Man even made an appearance at a pro baseball game between the Nippon Ham Fighters and Kintetsu Buffaloes during a special Fighters Mega Man Day event. A significant animation release is highlighted. Blue Submarine No. 6, the first full digital animation OVA, is complete and set for release on LD, DVD, and video in October. The visuals are stunning, made entirely with 2D and 3D CG. Finally, the popular adult video game, Ohime-sama o Nere, is selling well, and one of its voice actresses, Mai Tachiki, held a special autograph session for fans. This page brings us news from the gaming world and beyond. An audition event titled Super Big Audition saw over 70,000 participants vying for stardom, with the grand prize going to 15-year-old Takahashi Aki. In music news, legendary composer Koichi Sugiyama, known for the Dragon Quest series, held a classical concert, performing pieces including music from the Game Boy title Dragon Quest Monsters, reflecting on the challenges of composing with limited tracks back on the Famicom. Other news includes the release of a figure for Claret from Langrisser V by Kotobukiya, and Namco launching a national ranking service for their arcade racer Technodrive on their website. The main feature is the recap of the third Japan Game of the Year 98 awards. While Resident Evil 2 took home the Grand Prix, the SEGA Saturn RPG Grandia was honored with the runner-up Grand Prix. Additionally, the innovative Saturn title Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, received the Sound Award. Photos show developers accepting the awards, expressing gratitude for the player support. The page also lists other award recipients, such as Densha de Go for the Fresh Award and Parasite Eve, and Gran Turismo for Visual Awards. Finally, there's a small section highlighting recent music CD releases, including albums from Nakatani Miki, Tohko, Original Love, and the Mad Capsule Markets. As the Sega Dreamcast launch nears, strategy guides for the Sega Saturn are experiencing a surge in popularity. The survey reveals top-selling guides for games like Sakura Wars 2, Black/Matrix, and Doku Soshite. Artbook. Detailed reviews highlight several standout guides. The Black/Matrix guide offers solid strategy but withholds information on a hidden character. The Sakura Wars 2 guide covers later chapters, complex gameplay, and minigame data. Shoot-'em-up fans will find the Radiant Silvergun guide invaluable. The Lunar 2 Eternal Blue guide provides comprehensive coverage of promotional items. Additional reviews showcase the Bacon Roader's official guide's helpful story strategies, and the Baroque Complete guide's in-depth analysis. The Pickup section recommends the Atsumet Godzilla VMU game guide and the Lively Dynamite Cop 2 guide. Finally, the Thick Virtua Fighter 3 TB guide provides in-depth character data, techniques, and interviews with top players. The Sega Saturn's top 15 best-selling software titles are revealed in this data. Black/Matrix, a highly sought-after tactical RPG, takes the top spot, followed by the mech action title Bakkenroder and the baseball simulation Pro Yaku Greatest 998 Summer Action. Other notable games include Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Deep Fear, High School Terra Story, Lupin III, The Sage of the Pyramid, Capcom Generation Volume 1, Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter, Akumajo Dracula X, Gekka no Yasukyoku, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed, a Momotaro Dentetsu series game, a dating sim, a mahjong game, and The King of Fighters 97. The list showcases a diverse range of genres, indicating the console's continued popularity despite nearing the end of its life cycle. The next page presents the Sega Saturn user data for the top 30 most anticipated new software releases, based on reader surveys. Highlighting the top contenders, the number 1 spot goes to Martian successor Nadesico. The movie, The Blank of 3 Years, an adventure game eagerly awaited by fans, now confirmed 100% complete. Coming in second is Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, a popular dating simulation also fully developed. The highly anticipated fighting game, Virtua Fighter 3, takes the third position, with the magazine teasing exciting new information about its home console release coming next issue after a long silence. The page also picks up on a few other notable titles. At number 4 is Sakura Taisen Taigeki Graph, which includes new minigames and promotional footage related to the beloved Sakura Wars series. Further down the list, the horse racing simulation Derby Stallion at number 16 is featured, showing its development is progressing. Other anticipated games include the dating sim Bachi Carl S and Roommate W Futari. The full top 30 list covers a wide variety of genres, showcasing the ongoing excitement for new software on the Saturn. This page presents the Sega Saturn Weekly Data Station, focusing on the upcoming software release schedule. It includes a comprehensive list of games with their anticipated release dates ranging from September 1997 through spring 1998, as well as titles with an undecided date. The page breaks down the information into columns, detailing the release date, game title, price, manufacturer, genre, and compatibility with various SEGA Saturn peripherals like the mouse, analog stick, Virtua Gun, and different controllers. There's a handy key defining the genre abbreviations used, covering everything from action and RPGs to simulations, sports, puzzles, and more, including specific types like action RPG and simulation RPG. It also lists compatible hardware like the Virtua Gun, various controllers, and memory expansions required for some titles. The schedule includes many titles, some with firm dates and prices, while others are listed as undecided, representing games still in development. Noteworthy upcoming games include titles like Biohazard 2, Resident Evil 2, Derby Stallion, and Virtua Fighter 3, many of which were previously highlighted on the reader anticipation list, now appearing here with their expected launch windows. The list gives a clear overview of the diverse range of games Saturn owners could look forward to in the coming months. This page features the latest installment of the SEGA Saturn Magazine's Reader's Race, presenting a ranking of SEGA Saturn games based on cumulative average scores from reader votes. The ranking reflects the opinions of players on the 1049 Saturn games released up to September 11th. The chart displays the current rank, previous rank, game title, genre, total votes, and average score for a vast number of titles. It's a comprehensive look at how the Saturn community rates their favorite games over time, showing which titles maintain high praise and which ones might be dropping off. A highlighted section on the page warns readers about the current state of new releases, noting that there isn't a standout must-buy among them right now. It specifically advises caution regarding games that have volatile scores, or are new entries that haven't made a strong impression in the rankings yet. While Sakura Wars 2 holds the top spot, the commentary points out that other recent or fluctuating titles, mentioning examples like Lindicube and Majin Monogatari, likely referring to titles further down the list, are proving unpredictable and require careful consideration before purchasing. This section serves as a heads-up from the magazine, based on reader feedback about the current software landscape. This page continues the reader-voted ranking chart, listing numerous SEGA Saturn games and their average scores, reflecting community opinion up to this point in the magazine's history. The focus shifts to reviews for several new releases. The new contenders section introduces 3 titles. Lupin III, The Sage of the Pyramid, an action game, receives mixed reviews, with praise for Lupin's movements and movie scenes, but criticism for difficulty and graphics. Readers rated it higher overall than the magazine staff. Astra Superstars, a fighting game, is praised for its enjoyable gameplay, expanded strategy, and fast-paced action, despite long load times in some comments. It also boasts a strong reader score. Back and Loader, a simulation RPG, is noted for its emphasis on story progression and unique atmosphere, though some found the presentation lacking and the battle system simple. The new single-pick section features 2 more games. GT24, a racing game, is described as easy to enjoy due to requiring less technical skill, but criticisms point out graphical issues in its 24-hour mode and frequent problems. Savaki, a fighting game, is highlighted for integrating various martial arts styles and offering a deep fighting experience, although its graphics and overall presentation are seen as somewhat plain, and some found issues with load times and controls. Overall, this page gives readers a snapshot of how these new games are being received by the Saturn community and the magazine staff. This page continues the comprehensive reader-voted ranking chart for SEGA Saturn games, presenting a detailed list based on community feedback. The multi-column table displays each game's current rank, its rank from the previous week, the software title, genre, and the average score derived from reader votes. Covering ranks starting from 384 and descending, this section showcases a vast array of titles across numerous genres, including action, RPGs, simulations, racing games, shooters, and puzzles. It serves as a valuable resource reflecting the general reception and popularity of the diverse SEGA Saturn library among its player base, providing insight into which games resonated most with the magazine's readership. This page continues the reader-voted game ranking chart from the previous issue, listing SEGA Saturn titles by their popularity and scores from the lower ranks. The main focus here is a spotlight on the SEGA Saturn masterpiece, Bulk Slash. Written by E. This Hudson-developed 3D action shooter, released on July 11, 1997, for 5,800 yen, earned solid scores from both readers, 8.9, 825, and the magazine, 8.0, cementing its status as a highly recommended hidden gem. The review highlights the game's transforming mechs, allowing players to switch between flying and combat forms to tackle missions on large, open maps. A key feature is the navigator system, where a female character provides voice guidance and tactical support. Reader comments praise the game's balance between intense shooting action and dramatic elements, singling out the navigation system for making the game feel smooth and enjoyable. The development staff strongly recommend Bulk Slash to any 3D shooting fan, particularly noting the positive reception of the navigator system from players. Screenshots show the transforming mech in action, battling enemies, and a portrait of one of the navigator characters. Below the main feature, there's a small note on Death Crimson, teasing it as a legendary low-ranked game from 1999, associated with the start of the Dreamcast era. This page is laid out like a racing form, previewing upcoming SEGA Saturn titles in a section called Next Scheduled Race Paddock Information. One game featured is Black/Matrix, an upcoming strategy RPG from NEC Interchannel, scheduled for August 27, 98. The magazine gives it a preliminary average score of 7.66. The reviewer notes its system for allocating points to weapons for additional effects and customizing character parameters. Another section presents the weekly SEGA Saturn peripheral ranking, which is a list of accessories based on reader voting. The page heavily promotes reader participation through various prediction contests, collectively part of the SEGA Saturn Reader Race. Readers are invited to guess the debut ranking of Shining Force 2, Scenario 3, Hyoheki no Ja Shingu, and the average reader score, odds, for Kido Senshi Nadesiko, the blank of 3 years. Correct participants can win prizes, including peripheral sets and selected games, with options like controllers and joysticks. 2 other games are previewed: Umibe de Reach, Beach Reach, a table game from Mainichi Communications with a magazine score of 6.33, and Capcom Generation Volume 1, an arcade compilation featuring the classic 1942 series, scoring 7.33. The reviewer of Umibe de Reach comments on the lack of female characters despite it being a Bishujo game and the shallow content, but likes the punny title. The reviewer for Capcom Generation Volume 1 appreciates the inclusion of classic titles and features like Stage Select but finds the difficulty high and visuals dated. This page features promotions for official guidebooks for 2 significant SEGA Saturn releases. The top section is dedicated to the Virtua Striker 2 version 98 official guide. It's positioned as the complete support guide for the intense matches in Sega's arcade soccer powerhouse. The guide promises a thorough breakdown of fundamental gameplay, tactical analyses of the various national teams, insights from the development team through interviews, and details on world-renowned players featured in the game, ensuring players can achieve winning results. The bottom half promotes the SEGA official book series guide for Shining Force 2 Scenario 3. This is the guide fans needed for the final installment of the critically acclaimed simulation RPG trilogy. It's highlighted as the concluding chapter, wrapping up the story while incorporating elements and characters from the first 2 scenarios. The guide is structured to aid players through the complex strategy, including essential maps for every stage up to the final chapter. It provides character introductions covering both the extensive main cast and enemy characters, detailing their locations and offering crucial data on hidden items and secrets vital for completing the saga. Both official guides were set for a late September release, essential tools for players diving deep into these titles. This page is the front cover of Dreamcast magazine. The prominent title at the top identifies it clearly. The main visual features 2 ethereal, glowing female figures against a background of abstract blue lines, hinting at a futuristic or digital theme. The cover highlights several key articles. On page 20, there's coverage of the Dreamcast data station. Page 22 features a major article on Blue Stinger, described as the culmination of cinematic graphics and a super entertainment masterpiece. Sonic Adventure is prominently featured on page 38, with a focus on an interview with sound director Jun Senue. Page 50 highlights July, a turn-of-the-century cyber adventure, noting it's one of 2 new titles announced by SEGA, and asks what happened in July 1997. Further articles include page 56, which introduces Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation, marking Ubisoft's first entry into Dreamcast development. Page 58 covers 7th Cross. Page 64 features Pen Pen Trisalon, and page 68 is dedicated to Godzilla Generations. Finally, page 72 looks at Dreamcast Now. The cover also notes this is the 4th issue, and was published on September 25, 1998, with a special price of 0 yen. The Dreamcast logo is visible at the bottom left. With 70 days until launch, This Dreamcast data station previews the console's most anticipated games. Sonic Adventure tops the staff's list, followed by D2 and Key to He. White illumination. The pickup section highlights Blue Stinger's graphics and July's cyber adventure setting. The table announces various Dreamcast games, including their publishers, genres, and VMS compatibility. Titles include Seventh Cross, Pen Pen Trisalon, and Monster Breed, though prices are pending. A reader-voted top 10 mirrors the staff's enthusiasm, with Sonic Adventure and D2 leading the pack. Key to He's white illumination and elemental gimmick gear also rank high, showcasing the diverse appeal of the upcoming Dreamcast library. This page features several interesting insights for gamers. First up is the Dreamcast Want to Convert section, which is a user-driven poll showing the top 20 games players most want to see ported to Sega's new console. The top requests include powerhouse franchises like Virtua Fighter 3 TB, the Final Fantasy series, Sakura Taisen, and Resident Evil, highlighting a strong desire for existing popular titles and RPGs to make the jump. The accompanying text hints that Dreamcast's performance capabilities are being revealed, and Sega's arcade titles are expected to be announced soon, potentially fulfilling some of these wishes. Below that, the Show Up Arcade Video Games Top 15 lists the current hotness in arcades. Virtua Striker 2 and Virtua Fighter 3 TB are leading the pack, proving their enduring popularity. Other major hits like Cybertroopers Virtualon, Oratorio Tangram, and Street Fighter Alpha 3 also rank high, showcasing the diverse arcade scene. The text here suggests something significant is brewing for the AM show, with major titles from various companies expected, hinting that the biggest surprises might be hidden gems not yet announced. Finally, the 1 Point Check Game section previews some exciting titles. Star Wars Trilogy Arcade is featured as coming soon, promising to let players relive iconic moments from the movies in an arcade shooting experience. We also see a screenshot for Daytona USA 2 Battle on the Edge, already listed in the arcade top 15, and a shot from Dirt Devils, another high-octane racing title. This page from Dreamcast magazine features a look at the upcoming title Blue Stinger. It highlights that the game is an action-adventure set for release on the Dreamcast. Developed by Sega and planned for a late 1998 release in Japan, the price is still undecided, and it's designed for single-player only. The main image showcases 3 characters central to the game's premise: 2 protagonists and a mysterious, glowing figure. The text at the bottom describes Blue Stinger as an exciting fusion of action and adventure elements, positioning it as a highly anticipated entertainment masterpiece for the winter season. A small inset image provides a glimpse of the game's visuals or a specific detail. This page continues the look at the upcoming Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. The prominent headline translates to real-time action that rivals movies. The text elaborates on this, stating that coinciding with the full launch of the Dreamcast this winter, various new titles are arriving, and among them is Blue Stinger, announced by Climax Graphics with great enthusiasm. Positioned as the first major release for the Dreamcast, it promises exhilarating entertainment. The page highlights the game's high-density graphics and cinematic presentation, with creature design by Hollywood staff, packed with highly anticipated elements. The main text describes Blue Stinger as an action title set on an island with a city built upon it. Gameplay involves solving puzzles, defeating strange creatures, and features a mysterious character. It emphasizes the stunning quality of the CG, noting the realistic 3D environments and high-resolution textures that truly convey what is possible on the Dreamcast. The article states this is the first public reveal, focusing on these visuals, along with an overview of the game system, a glimpse of the story, and an introduction to the main characters. Screenshots show characters engaged in combat, one blasting an enemy in a snowy festive environment, another posing with a large weapon in an indoor setting, and a third fighting a creature in a moody red-lit bar area. The visuals displayed support the claims of advanced graphics for the time. The next page continues the deep dive into the upcoming Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. This section provides the fascinating backstory and setting for the game, centering on a place known as Dinosaur Island. We learn that in the year 2000, a massive earthquake in Mexico caused a new island to rise near the Yucatan Peninsula. The U.S. and Mexican governments jointly named it Dinosaur Island and sent investigation teams, but their findings were mysteriously suppressed. Despite the world largely forgetting about it, secret investigations continued for 17 years. A town was built on the island, housing many of the investigation staff living seemingly peaceful lives. However, the text reveals that this calm is about to be shattered by a sudden event, hinting at the game's premise. The page features a screenshot showing a character aiming a futuristic weapon, consistent with the action focus seen on the previous page, and another smaller image of a futuristic vehicle or structure. A brief caption reinforces the mystery surrounding the island beneath its ordinary facade. This page sets the stage perfectly for the survival action to come. This page continues the focus on the upcoming Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. It introduces the game's main protagonist, Elliot G. Ballet. Described as a hot-blooded rescuer, Elliot is a 28-year-old member of the C-730 unit of EZR, a special sea rescue. His personality is portrayed as one that can't ignore those in need, almost as if he was born to be a rescuer. The text explains that his wearing of private clothes, instead of a uniform, is due to his involvement in the Dinosaur Island incident on his day off. The page features striking character art, including a large close-up of Elliot's face, a full body shot showing his rescue organization's logo, and a screenshot of him in a bar environment. Smaller captions highlight that the in-game character models are detailed, and that motion capture is used to achieve realistic actions. This page clearly establishes the central figure players will control as they navigate the mysteries of Dinosaur Island. This page continues focusing on Blue Stinger, introducing some of the game's important supporting cast. Beyond the protagonist Elliot, there are 3 other key individuals, and this page details 2 of them. First up is Dogs Bauer. Described as a heavy weapon expert, this 43-year-old former soldier participated in the initial investigation of Dinosaur Island and now captains the Diana ship, which transports people and supplies. As a veteran, he's highly skilled with various weapons, excelling particularly with heavy firearms. The second character featured is Janine King, labeled a young elite member. At just 24, Janine works for Kimura Security on Dinosaur Island. She's portrayed as a genius, having graduated from MIT at 16 and previously serving in EZR's top elite unit. She's proficient in both firearms and computers. The image shows her with an injured leg, hinting at a potential plot point or gameplay mechanic. This page continues our look at Blue Stinger, focusing on one of the game's most enigmatic figures, the Nephilims. This glowing, translucent entity is introduced as an existence entirely shrouded in mystery. It appeared after the Dinosaur Island incident and is constantly observed hovering around the protagonist, Elliot. While speculated to be some form of spiritual body, its true identity, including age and gender, remains completely unknown. The page notes that the Nephilim seems to interfere with Elliot's actions, yet its ultimate purpose is unclear, seemingly lacking a defined objective. Screenshots show this glowing figure interacting with Elliot in various game environments, highlighting its ever-present nature. The text further questions its motives for following Elliot, pointing out that it lacks a physical form but constantly emits light that reflects off surfaces. Its appearance is suggested to be a copy of something else entirely, adding another layer to its mystery. This article explores the gameplay of Blue Stinger, focusing on exploration, combat, and its unique camera system. Players control Elliot, navigating facilities on Dinosaur Island while battling monstrous creatures. The core gameplay loop revolves around exploring environments constantly threatened by bizarre, weapon-dependent enemies of varying forms. Combat screenshots showcase disturbing creature designs. A simplified control scheme features analog stick movement and a single attack button. A dynamic camera system automatically adjusts perspectives, offering clear views of the environment, paths, and entrances. The camera shifts to maintain a cinematic feel, providing optimal views for exploration and combat, including third-person, close-up, and overhead perspectives, enhancing the player's spatial awareness and sense of progression. This page highlights the impressive variety and detailed visual effects of the weapons available in Blue Stinger. It showcases several different arms protagonist Elliot can acquire during exploration to deal with the bizarre creatures encountered. Featured weapons include the powerful bazooka with its realistic smoke trail, the direct-attack sword that emits energy, the area-igniting napalm bomb, the bright laser gun which can potentially be thrown, the electric gun capable of paralyzing enemies with cinematic electrical bursts, and the shotgun which graphically depicts the impact of each scattered pellet. Beyond just combat, the page emphasizes that both fighting and puzzle solving unfold together seamlessly. Puzzles are not confined to a separate mode, but are integrated into the player's journey as they explore facilities, requiring observation and interaction with the environment. Examples shown include investigating scattered items in a warehouse that hint at past events, and potentially interactive elements like arcade machines. The game's design ensures that everything present in the environment holds meaning and contributes to the overall experience. This page delves into the environments of Blue Stinger, showcasing Dinosaur Island as a vast, fully realized urban space. It emphasizes that the island isn't just a collection of levels, but a proper town with places to eat, sleep, live, and be entertained. The article highlights the detail and scale of the locations you can explore. Screenshots feature diverse areas like a grand movie theater, complete with realistic interiors and even Christmas decorations outside, suggesting attention to seasonal details. There's also a look inside large buildings, like a multi-story hall with detailed modeling, making it feel like a tangible space. Beyond entertainment, the page shows more practical facilities. A gun shop is depicted with a massive display of weapons, noted as an automated system. A bathroom, or communal bath area with lockers is shown, and a 24-hour automated cafeteria filled with vending machines. The overall impression is that Blue Stinger offers a densely packed, highly interactive world with a wide variety of explorable locations, far more than just combat arenas. This page continues the exploration of Blue Stinger's setting, highlighting the diverse locations that bring Dinosaur Island to life as a fully realized urban environment. Beyond the entertainment and facilities previously shown, we see more essential and social spaces. Locations featured include a barbershop, demonstrating the self-sufficiency of the island, and a vibrant club described as a social hub for adults seeking respite. However, a screenshot showing fire hints at the dramatic events that have since emptied the premises. The port area is detailed as the crucial link to the outside world, responsible for supplies and travel, suggesting its importance in the game's narrative. It even includes a fishing tackle shop, emphasizing the leisure activities available. Further demonstrating the island's amenities are a game center, featuring a Sega Dream arcade, a bank with intriguing advertisements, and detailed residential spaces, showing the personalities of the investigators through their decor. The rundown outdoor streets provide a stark contrast, mixing near-future and cyber elements. Even an office is shown, seemingly ravaged by an incident, possibly involving Elliot, although a resilient copy machine stands unharmed. Lastly, a large grocery store caters to the residents' daily needs, reinforcing the sense of a functional community before disaster struck. The variety and detail of these locations solidify Blue Stinger's world as more than just a backdrop for action, but a place with its own history and daily life. This page delves into the core concept behind the game Blue Stinger, exploring the philosophy that guided its creation from the perspectives of its system, visuals, and scenario. The aim is to create a game where players can step into the shoes of a movie protagonist and experience the story world firsthand, utilizing the Dreamcast's advanced graphical capabilities to achieve something previously challenging. A key principle highlighted is creating entertainment enjoyable by anyone. This is achieved through a deliberate focus on accessible design. The easy interface section emphasizes simplifying controls, with basic actions primarily relying on the directional pad and a single button. The text argues that overly complicated controls can hinder enjoyment in adventure games, making an intuitive interface crucial for players to effectively interact with the environment and characters. The game is described as adventure action. While it contains action elements, the content stresses that the game's heart lies in adventure aspects like solving puzzles and exploration. The creators aimed for a dense experience that delivers strongly on visuals, adventure, and action, without compromising any single element. Screenshots on the page show different locations, including an arcade featuring a machine for Super Camera Fund, hinting at the diverse settings players will encounter. Blue Stinger prioritizes a cinematic experience, employing Hollywood talent like Robert Short, creature design, and Pete Von Scholey, storyboards, to achieve movie-like quality. The game utilizes detailed polygon graphics to create realistic environments, contrasting them with the intrusion of extraordinary events for greater impact. This interactive movie experience leverages advanced Dreamcast capabilities for lighting and effects. The scenario focuses on satisfying intellectual curiosity through exploration and puzzle solving, with mysteries woven into the environment. Players are encouraged to uncover secrets, experiencing a rewarding process. A core theme is catharsis, aiming to deliver an emotional release stronger than a movie, achieved through player immersion and character unity as they solve puzzles and advance the narrative. This page features an interview with Shinya Nishigaki, the president of Climax Graphics, alongside SEGA producer Chiaki Ogawa. The interview delves into the development philosophy behind their latest title, which, based on the discussion of cinematic graphics and integrating movie and game elements, is clearly Blue Stinger. Nishigaki expresses excitement about the Dreamcast's capabilities, allowing for enhanced expression, bridging the gap between movies and games. They aim to make the game accessible and appealing to a broader audience, including those who enjoy Hollywood films, by offering a rich, interactive, cinematic experience. While keeping the core gameplay engaging, the goal is a rewarding experience that feels substantial, yet moves at a brisk pace, similar to binging a novel or movies. Ogawa emphasizes the importance of players finishing the game and enjoying the balanced mix of entertainment, including moments that evoke laughter and tears. Side panels add interesting details about the development team, revealing Climax Graphics' core staff for this project numbers just 18 dedicated individuals who work intensely, highlighting their belief in achieving uniqueness through a smaller, tightly knit group. Another panel humorously notes Nishigaki's significant weight loss, attributing it to the hard work involved in the game's production. Shinya Nishigaki of Climax Graphics discusses the development of the ambitious Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. Hollywood talent was employed for 3D world modeling, mirroring a sculpting process. Despite this, the core Japanese team was only 18 people, benefiting from the Dreamcast's hardware capabilities, such as polygon sorting, to streamline development. Nishigaki's cinematic influences fueled the project's aim to surprise players. The interview reveals early plot details. A mysterious island appears near the Bermuda Triangle, remaining inaccessible to civilians despite investigations. Producer Chiaki Ogawa cleared the discussion of this plot point, but Nishigaki received a yellow card for oversharing. The article, dated September 25, 1998, features Blue Stinger alongside Sonic Adventure and showcases imagery related to the game's Nephilim element. This page continues the interview with Climax Graphics' Shinya Nishigaki and Sega's Chiaki Ogawa about the Dreamcast title, Blue Stinger. They delve into the game's setting, revealing the mysterious island appeared due to a sudden mutation and holds a research facility. The Christmas Eve setting isn't just atmospheric, it's integral, contrasting the festive mood with the horror and explaining why help is scarce. Nishigaki mentions his love for American Christmas illuminations and draws a parallel to films like Die Hard, which is also set during Christmas. The protagonist, Elliot, gets caught up in the island's chaos during his Christmas holiday. Although initially unarmed, he must find weapons in the chaotic town. Ogawa and Nishigaki emphasize the visual impact they aimed for, hoping to deliver an unprecedented world filled with unexpected adventures. They hope players will experience the game at the upcoming game show, and that it can be a future model for action-adventure games, citing influences like Dee's Diner and Resident Evil. The page also introduces Climax Graphics as a company specializing in CG work since spinning off from Climax in 1996. They are launching their official website on September 11th, which is currently in test operation and will feature rare images, videos, and a Q&A section with staff. Screenshots of their previous works, Landstalker and Dark Savior, are shown. This page continues the report on Blue Stinger, highlighting Climax Graphics' Shinya Nishigaki's vision for the game. The large headline declares their aim is not just graphics, but to express the catharsis of movies within the game itself. Nishigaki clarifies that his concept of a cinematic game differs from titles dominated by CG movies, emphasizing the importance of gameplay that makes players feel active and engaged. He believes this is possible with a full polygon, real-time adventure on the Dreamcast, allowing players to step into the world of a movie as the protagonist. To achieve this, he draws inspiration from the unique atmosphere and directorial techniques of Hollywood films, specifically referencing the worlds of Lucas and Spielberg. Nishigaki states that the Dreamcast hardware is essential to this vision, providing the expressive power needed. He argues that just as previous hardware generations enabled landmark titles like Resident Evil and Virtua Fighter, the Dreamcast will facilitate new genres and push the evolution of adventure games. He views Blue Stinger as the realization of his long-held desire to create the future form of adventure games, driven by the newfound ability to express his ideas on the powerful hardware. The page features screenshots showing gameplay in various environments, including a battle against a large creature. This page is a major feature on the upcoming Dreamcast title, Sonic Adventure, boldly announcing latest screens and new facts, successive scoops, and introducing the game to the world. Following the excitement of the August 22nd presentation, the magazine presents new visuals and information previously unreleased, including insights from an interview with the Sonic team. The game is listed as a Sega action title, scheduled for release in late 1998 on the Dreamcast, with the price still undecided. The page is packed with exciting screenshots showcasing the game's 3D environments and diverse gameplay. We see Sonic piloting a biplane high in the sky, platforming through a futuristic structure, Tails running through a metallic base with a rocket, and Knuckles navigating a crumbling path. The layout builds hype for the title, culminating in a dramatic image of a giant monstrous creature made of water, accompanied by a powerful reveal at the bottom. His name is Perfect Chaos. This page clearly aims to capture the excitement surrounding Sonic's leap into the 3D era on the powerful new Dreamcast hardware. This page continues the exciting coverage of the upcoming Dreamcast title, Sonic Adventure, boldly titled, "Let's Fly to the End," and highlighting blazing new actions. Following the recent presentation, the magazine promises a deep dive into new information revealed, focusing on new gameplay actions, system details, and various elements of the game's presentation. Key sections reveal details about Eggman's massive flying base, the Egg Carrier, showcasing its exterior, interior, powerful weaponry, and dramatic transformation sequences with the latest screenshots. The page suggests this provides a complete look at the history of the mech. New facts revealed at the presentation are highlighted, particularly focusing on Knuckles' unique gameplay system demonstrated during the demo, along with other character actions. Interviews are also featured, including one with sound creator Jun Senoue about the newborn Sonic's shift to a rock sound. Another interview with two Sonic team members provides behind-the-scenes stories from the successful presentation, discussing episodes from the demo, and reporting on international reactions. The mysterious liquid creature, Chaos, first revealed as Perfect Chaos, is discussed further, exploring its relationship with Sonic and its ultimate form, emphasizing its nature as a transforming liquid life form. Screenshots illustrate these points, showing Sonic in various environments, the Tornado 2 transforming, Knuckles exploring, and dramatic views of the Egg Carrier and Chaos. This page provides an in-depth look at the massive flying fortress featured in Sonic Adventure, the Egg Carrier. This colossal ship is highlighted as one of the main stages in the game and a significant representation of Dr. Eggman's power, described as being far more imposing and larger than his previous mechs. The magazine offers a glimpse inside the ship, showing Sonic running through its corridors. A key revelation is the Egg Carrier's ability to transform into different shapes depending on its purpose. This slow, powerful transformation is shown through a series of screenshots, emphasizing its impressive nature. The page also details one of the ship's devastating attacks, a giant main cannon that emerges from the splitting nose to fire a massive beam, leaving you wondering what devastating target it's aimed at. This coverage provides a comprehensive overview of this crucial element of Sonic Adventure. This page delves deeper into the Egg Carrier from Sonic Adventure. Building on the previous discussion, it highlights the ship as a massive aerial fortress and a key adventure field, where the 6 protagonists will gather. The interior is described as incredibly spacious and packed with various gimmicks, feeling like a giant playground crafted entirely to Dr. Eggman's peculiar tastes, including surprisingly silly rooms and even potential slot machines. The page also features a fascinating look back at Drive Eggman's mechanical creations through the years, in a section titled Drive Eggman Mechanics. It chronicles the evolution of his boss mechs, starting with the functional Wrecking Ball mech from the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It then moves to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, showcasing Mecha Sonic and the colossal Death Egg robot. Sonic 3 and Knuckles saw a significant increase in scale, with the impressive Death Egg and the powerful Big Arm Boss. Finally, Sonic CD introduced the sleek and high-performance Metal Sonic, highlighting Eggman's design sense at the time. This retrospective puts the scale and ambition of the Egg Carrier into perspective within the history of Eggman's formidable machines. This page dives into the exciting reveals from the August 22nd Sonic Adventure presentation. It kicks off by highlighting the dazzling visuals shown at the event, encouraging readers not to miss the footage. It mentions the presentation could be viewed online via an internet digest on the official SEGA website for those who couldn't attend. The page then shifts focus to the 6 playable characters and their unique actions showcased at the event. Sonic is featured with his surprising first-time dialogue and flashy action. Knuckles uses sonar to hunt for scattered Master Emerald pieces. Big the Cat demonstrates a relaxing fishing action and is seen walking with his friend Froggy. Tails flies freely, using his tails like a propeller, navigating between buildings. Amy Rose is shown helping a small bird and using her Pico Pico hammer. Finally, E-102 Gamma locks onto targets with infrared beams and moves rapidly, highlighting his combat capabilities. The magazine notes that seeing all 6 characters in action was a major highlight, each with distinct abilities. It promises to reveal new facts not covered in the previous issue, focusing on the demo gameplay shown 3 times at the presentation. The page also shows the visual memory unit's display capabilities and a screenshot of the game's website. This page dives deeper into Sonic Adventure, revealing the structure of its world. It confirms the game features 3 main worlds: Station Square, a bustling metropolitan area unlike anything seen before; Mystic Ruins, a mysterious region with ancient ruins set in nature; and the Egg Carrier Drive, Eggman's massive airborne fortress introduced previously, which serves as a hub where the 6 main characters might gather. Connected to these worlds are various action stages. The magazine highlights several confirmed stages, noting that the available stages will depend on which character you play as. These include the high-speed dash through Speed Highway, Knuckles area Red Mountain with its red rock landscape, the snowy ice cap returning from Sonic 3, the interior of the Egg Carrier, the windy green valley of Windy Valley where a boss fight occurs, and Lost World, a ruin-filled area with an indie feel. Beyond the main game, new details include a 3D shooting minigame, where you pilot the tornado plane against Eggman's forces, and a giant mechanical boss. There's also a look at the Alive system featuring the adorable Chaos, which apparently appear after defeating enemies, hinting at a hide-and-seek element for them. The article concludes by teasing more mysteries to be revealed in future issues. This page features the sound director for Sonic Adventure, Jun Senue, discussing the game's music. It highlights a shift towards a rock sound, described as a betrayal of the past, but ultimately giving birth to a new Sonic sound. Senue is shown with his guitar, and the article explains how the music has evolved from the previous bright, poppy style to something more edgy and prominent. The interview covers the deliberate choice to incorporate a lot of rock music with vocals into the game, breaking away from the typical image of Sonic simply running through grassy fields. It mentions that nearly all character themes, excluding Eggman and Gamma, feature vocals and are specifically tailored to fit each character's personality and stages, even referencing a West Coast versus East Coast approach for different characters' musical styles. The page includes screenshots showing Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Big the Cat in various in-game locations, visually representing the characters whose themes are discussed. The overall message is that Sonic Adventure's music is exciting and worth checking out. This page continues the deep dive into Sonic Adventure's music, with comments from sound director Jun Senue, focusing on the live performance aspects and the unveiling of the game's theme song. The article discusses the excitement surrounding the announcement event where the music was performed live, highlighting the energy of the rock sound. Images show the band performing on stage, including a clear shot of the custom drum kit featuring Sonic's face, and a close-up of Jun Senue himself playing a unique Sonic-themed guitar. Senue talks about this special guitar, noting it was made specifically for the event and is one of a kind. He also touches upon the recording process, mentioning sessions took place in New York. The page reinforces the idea that Sonic Adventure's music is a significant part of the game's identity, breaking new ground with its vocal rock tracks performed by a live band. The character E-102 Gamma is also featured visually on this page. This page takes us behind the scenes of the major Sonic Adventure announcement event, featuring interviews with key developers Yuji Naka and Takashi Iizuka. They discuss the immense pressure and excitement of presenting the game to an audience of 15,000 people, including the memorable entrance gimmick involving a giant balloon. The article provides a secret episode look at the event and the current development status. Photos offer glimpses into the Sonic team's office environment, showing developers at work and discussing ideas. There's a notable image of a Ferrari used in the event video, hinting at a potential grand entrance idea. Character designer Yuji Uekawa appears to be showcasing early design concepts for the Hedgehog protagonist. The developers share insights. Yuji Naka talks about returning to the core principles, while Takashi Iizuka humorously describes the next Sonic game as a love story. The page captures the team's dynamic, showing both focused work and playful moments. It also highlights the Sonic team story video shown at the event, suggesting its contents are being shared within the magazine. Overall, it's a candid look at the passion and effort behind bringing Sonic Adventure to life, for its grand reveal. The next page continues, covering the massive Sonic Adventure reveal event, revisiting Yuji Naka's impressive entrance on stage and his recollection of the immense pressure and pounding heart he felt in that moment, tying into the previous discussion with the developers. The page then pivots to reveal that the Sonic team's adventurous journey has begun, detailing their real-world trip to research locations that served as inspiration for the game's environments. We see photos from various significant sites, including the ancient ruins of Chichen Itza in Mexico and Tikal in Guatemala, along with stunning images of the Caribbean Sea, directly linking to stages like Lost World and Emerald Coast in the game. The team also journeyed to Peru, visiting the Nazca Lines, the city of Cusco, and the iconic Machu Picchu, which clearly inspired areas like the Mystic Ruins. The page features photos of the Sonic team members exploring these exotic places, showing their hands-on approach to environmental research. The accompanying text includes playful commentary from the team about the trip, questioning if this exciting adventure is actually work. The page also briefly touches upon the merchandise sold at the event, before concluding with a supportive message to the Sonic team. It effectively highlights the connection between the developers' real-world experiences and the rich, varied settings created for the game. The next page continues the coverage, focusing on the recent event with interviews featuring members of the Sonic team, including Mr. Hoshino and Mr. Izuka. They discuss their experiences, with mentions of the pressure and preparation involved, and express their happiness about Sonic headlining the Dreamcast launch. The page then shifts focus dramatically to the overseas reaction to Sonic Adventure. A section titled, "What's the Reaction from Overseas?" dives into several key points. First, it addresses the new character designs, stating that they are well received and seen as fitting for the Sonic team's style. Next, it looks at currently popular games overseas, noting a trend towards real games, and highlighting titles like Gran Turismo and Tomb Raider. Finally, it discusses the anticipation for Sonic Adventure, reporting extremely high expectations overseas, with many considering Sonic more popular than Crash Bandicoot. The bottom of the page features various screenshots showcasing gameplay moments from Sonic Adventure, demonstrating Sonic running through environments and confronting enemies. Edge reporter Nicholas DiCostanzo discusses the strong overseas popularity of Sega's Sonic. He highlights the excitement surrounding the upcoming Sonic Adventure on Dreamcasts, especially in Europe and America, where Sonic's popularity soared during the Mega Drive era. Despite a 4-year gap without a new Sonic title, the simultaneous worldwide release on Dreamcast generated immense anticipation. Eddie Costanzo contrasts Sonic's fast-paced action with popular titles like Mario Kart and Gran Turismo, emphasizing its appeal to core gamers. He notes excitement for the new character designs in Sonic Adventure and relief that the 3D gameplay retained the essence of the 2D games. Dreamcast itself is also eagerly awaited for arcade ports like Sega Rally 2, particularly in Europe, and the network capabilities for online gaming, especially in America. The article conveys overall high enthusiasm for Sonic's return. This page features the Dreamcast adventure game, July. The main image showcases the game's title prominently displayed over striking character artwork. We see a mysterious white-haired female figure seemingly emerging from a large, organic, pulsating sphere, while a serious-looking man in a suit, identified as Makoto Takanaka, is in the foreground. The information panel confirms July is an adventure game for the Dreamcast, published by Sega and developed by 45. It was projected for a 1998 release, with the price yet to be determined, and is recommended for all ages. Makoto Takanaka is described as one of the main protagonists of July. He is a 19-year-old male, a first-year student in the literature department at Nishiumi University. He holds a 3rd Dan in karate, and has poor academic performance. He appears straightforward at first glance, but is quite complex underneath. He is a man of action who immediately puts his ideas into practice. While this might sound impressive, in his case, it's more due to simple-mindedness. He cannot use computers or even word processors, making him a rare kind of university student today. Small screenshots at the bottom show various dark and mysterious environments, hinting at the game's atmosphere. The text below these screenshots reads, which translates to, "A body without a soul is." This suggests a potentially eerie or philosophical theme for the game. July, a Dreamcast adventure game, plunges players into a sci-fi mystery set in 1999, where humanity faces an impending shift. The game features 2 protagonists and utilizes a zapping system, granting players unprecedented freedom to shape the narrative. The story centers around the emergence of sexless bodies, immortal beings meant to supplant humans. The player controls Joshua, one of the protagonists. Abducted and experimented on as a child, Joshua seeks revenge for past betrayals. He possesses abilities derived from his sexless body nature, including enhanced combat skills and pain immunity. With 150 characters and a world enriched by player interaction, July promises a rich experience. Screenshots showcase futuristic locales like trains and coastal cities, setting the stage for an apocalyptic tale filled with unsettling discoveries. In an interview, July producer Yasushi Kubota of 45 discusses the Dreamcast title. Kubota's role focused on direction and planning, outsourcing creative tasks to maintain quality. The game, aimed at adults, centers on Drana, the end of the century, and Nostradamus predictions. The page also details Satomi Eriko, a 16-year-old character, a skilled martial artist and computer enthusiast, and friend of the protagonist. An illustration book distributed at Comic-It features character art. Screenshots hint at the game's international and apocalyptic themes, including a London bus explosion. Kubota's background includes work on Record of Lodoss War and Dragon Quest II Eyes, demonstrating a history in graphics before production. This page continues the deep dive into the Dreamcast game, July. Producer Yasushi Kubota explains the design principles, focusing on a stress-free zapping system where players can jump between locations easily. The narrative branches based on player actions, with the content of conversations changing depending on where and when you go. While the protagonist's core motivation is revenge, the game weaves in themes of Nostradamus and the end of the century, though these elements are not the primary focus. Completing the main story is estimated to take around 30 hours. Kubota emphasizes that the game avoids jarring minigames, preferring a system centered on exploration and searching. A notable detail is that the colors in the character illustrations were meticulously hand-painted by the artist. The page also introduces Takamura Megumi, a 10-year-old character who is Shin's younger sister. Her profile reveals a history of bullying due to a melanin deficiency, and her tragic death 6 years prior in a bus bombing in England, hinting at the game's dark and international narrative. Screenshots show various scenes, including a hospital room, interface elements, and dramatic portrayals of urban destruction, underscoring the game's serious tone. July, a Dreamcast title, aimed for ambitious world-building through a community of 150 characters, each with interwoven stories in an end-of-century setting. Producer Yasushi Kubota details this, emphasizing that sub-characters' backstories and fates are integral to the narrative, viewable at the player's discretion. The character design involved initial profiles, illustrations, and profile refinement. The game's world is a realistic, parallel version of present-day Japan, incorporating cyberpunk and fin-de-siècle themes. Despite realistic elements like Type 90 tanks, the inclusion of sexless terminology in a fictional island create a slightly altered reality, akin to a grounded take on Shin Megami Tensei, with touches of the unsettling, like cloned animals. Pre-release promotion included a radio show and website, hinting at the game's mysterious nature. This page continues the discussion about the Dreamcast title, July. The developer, Shishikura, highlights the core difference from reality in the game being the existence of sexless beings, an element around which many plot points are built. While the game touches on scientific and potentially religious themes, the narrative is designed to leave certain answers open to player interpretation, such as whether the sexless state is evolution or mutation. Shishikura emphasizes that the game's world is filled with hidden meanings in various details, encouraging players to imagine and think deeply as they play through the story. The game's music incorporates emotional expression and sometimes religious-style influences, but avoids sounds that would disrupt the atmosphere, aiming for a classical feel. The page introduces key characters. Patty Amati is an 8-year-old girl described as having a special ability to locate other sexless individuals. She acts maturely to mask loneliness, but finds connection with Joshua, the protagonist mentioned previously, as a fellow sexless being. Gene Raven is a 37-year-old man, head of a powerful group, known for being the wealthiest person in the world, but also having many enemies. He is notoriously difficult to track, and those who have tried have gone missing. The story begins on July 7th, a date hinted to hold significance. The overall impression is a game designed for players to slowly immerse themselves in a deep, thought-provoking narrative. Screenshots show character portraits, urban environments, and abstract visuals related to the game's themes. This page introduces Ubisoft's first title for the Dreamcast, Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation. This game is presented as a port or adaptation of their highly regarded F1 racing simulation series from the PC. The magazine highlights that the game offers a detailed, realistic Formula One racing experience on Sega's new console. The primary focus of the coverage is the game's faithful recreation of the legendary Monaco street circuit. The text emphasizes that the Monaco Grand Prix is one of the most traditional and prestigious races, renowned for being exceptionally difficult to win. The ability to experience this complex and challenging urban course completely reproduced on the Dreamcast is presented as a major selling point that should not be overlooked by racing fans. Screenshots on the page showcase the detailed trackside environments and the Flame 1 cars from various perspectives, including cockpit and third-person views, illustrating the simulation aspect and graphical fidelity promised by the Dreamcast hardware. The article conveys excitement about a high-spec PC racing simulation title making its way to the console, suggesting it leverages the Dreamcast's power effectively. The anticipation for this release in late 1998 is clear. This page dives deeper into Ubisoft's Monaco Grand Prix racing simulation, showcasing the wealth of content packed into the game. It boasts an impressive 9 different game modes catering to all types of players, from a beginner-friendly training mode to a challenging Grand Prix mode, where you aim to conquer all 17 races and become world champion. Other modes include championship variations, time attack for speed demons, a compelling career mode where you progress through teams, and a scenario mode featuring various realistic conditions and challenges. A major highlight is the incredibly detailed machine setting system. Developed in collaboration with Renault, it allows players to adjust everything from transmission and brake balance to suspension and alignment, aiming for a truly realistic F1 experience. The game even features dynamic weather, requiring specific rain setups when the skies open up. Adding a unique twist is the retro mode. This allows players to step back in time and race classic cars from the 1950s. While different from modern F1, it offers a valuable glimpse into the sport's history, complete with era-appropriate cars, cockpit views, and even more leisurely courses. The page promises more detailed information to come, leaving players eager for this comprehensive racing simulation. This page explores Seventh Cross Evolution, a unique simulation RPG released for the Dreamcast by NEC Home Electronics. The central theme revolves around survival and evolution in an uncharted environment. Players engage in combat and consume other creatures to acquire new abilities and evolve into stronger, more complex life forms. The game features an immense scope for evolutionary paths, with the article stating there are 810,000 possibilities. A core mechanic is the Dana sheet, which incorporates advanced neurotechnology. By consuming other creatures, players gather data for the Dana sheet, and the game's AI uses this information to guide the evolutionary process. Starting as a basic prosthetist, the player's choices and the data on their Dana sheet dictate their transformation, opening up distinct evolutionary branches and allowing them to become a powerful, higher life form. The article touches on the development of this innovative system, including input from a developer who worked on the neurotechnology underpinning the Dana sheet. This page dives deeper into the mechanics of Seventh Cross Evolution. It first details the parts selection screen, which is crucial for evolution. Players acquire different head, body, arm, and leg parts by defeating creatures, and these parts can be swapped out to change their form and stats, allowing adaptation to various environments. The screen also shows the player's body composition, broken down into 6 categories: water, protein, calcium, fiber, hard cell, and neurobio. These compositions are essential for maintaining your current form and evolving further. Different creatures yield different compositions. For example, fish provide calcium, while plants offer fiber. The elusive neurobio is specifically required for special evolutionary paths. The page then moves on to describe the game's expansive world, depicting it as a vast field filled with diverse environments like mountains, oceans, and waterfalls. Exploration is key, as the terrain and specific areas dictate which creatures reside there, influencing where players venture based on their evolutionary goals and needed body compositions. Screenshots showcase these varied locations, from a sandy, desert-like area to an underwater scene and a waterfall. Finally, the article briefly touches on the battle system. Combat against other creatures is a major component. When an enemy is encountered, the game transitions to a dedicated battle scene. Players issue high-level commands, like focusing on close-range or long-range attacks, and the fight unfolds automatically, with dynamic camera work capturing the action. Screenshots illustrate combat in different settings. This page delves into the unique Drina system, the engine-driving evolution in 7th Cross. Evolution. While every creature starts as the primitive origin form, reaching higher levels involves inputting patterns on a Drina sheet. You use a 10x10 grid and a color palette with options like white, black, red, blue, yellow, and green to draw specific shapes. These inputs are analyzed by the game's AI, referred to as the Neuro, influencing your creature's basic abilities and determining which body parts you acquire. The flow involves selecting abilities, determining parts, confirming Dyna, and inputting the parts. The game provides a transmission table and parts acquisition trend feature, allowing you to review the results of your past 20 Dynasheet inputs. This history is crucial for understanding how the Neuro is learning and associating certain patterns with specific outcomes, enabling you to predict and strategically aim for desired parts. Screenshots illustrate the input screen with its palette and grid, as well as the record of acquired parts. There are even tools to help manage your input, like clearing or rotating patterns. The article notes that consistently drawing inappropriate patterns could lead to the Neuro's mental breakdown, resulting in biased or undesirable evolutionary paths. It emphasizes the strategic depth added by having to learn how the AI interprets your genetic drawings. This page dives deeper into the staggering potential within 7th Cross. Evolution, proudly proclaiming the 810,000 possibilities for your creature's form. It explains how the Dyna input directly influences your basic abilities like attack, defense, intelligence, and healing, and determines the specific body parts you acquire. The system tracks which parts you get based on your Dynasheet patterns, emphasizing that learning the AI's interpretation is key to acquiring better components. The real excitement is showcasing some of these diverse evolutionary paths. We see the high fish, specialized for powerful movement exclusively in water, though weaker otherwise. The plant complex offers high healing capabilities through photosynthesis, balanced by low defense. For land speed, the BioRazor boasts supreme mobility. Finally, the demon is presented as the current ideal combat form, equipped for both close and long-range fighting, with high defense, speed, and intelligence, making it a truly formidable creature. The article stresses that each distinct form brings unique abilities, body makeup, and combat styles to the battlefield. This page presents an interview discussing the core technology behind 7th Cross. Evolution, the implementation of neural networks, referred to as Neuro, for the first time on a home game console. The interview features Mr. Fukugawa, who planned and developed the game, and Ms. Kamioka, who handled the development of the Neuro system. The discussion centers on how neural networks differ from traditional game AI. Instead of rigid, pre-programmed rules, the Neuro system employs a learning algorithm that allows the creature to adapt and evolve based on player actions and experiences. This is described as teacherless learning, where the AI doesn't have a fixed correct answer, but generates its own rules and outcomes through interaction. Kamioka shares her background, revealing she was initially involved in PC software development and researched next neural network technology, Neuro. This research eventually led to applying the technology to the game, aiming to create an AI that feels more natural and less machine-like. The game encourages players to experiment and discover how their actions influence the AI's learning and their creature's evolution, as the rules are constantly being created and adapted. The goal is to create an AI that feels alive and unpredictable, making the game experience unique for each player. This page continues the interview with Goro Fukugawa, the producer of 7th Cross, and Hatake Yama-san, discussing the game's unique Neuro system. They delve deeper into the characteristics of this neural network AI, explaining how it's based on the concept of synaptic connections and self-organizing maps, referred to as SOM. They discuss the Neuro's ability to learn without explicit programming, creating its own rules, and potentially even experiencing a sort of mental breakdown if fed contradictory information. This unpredictable nature is highlighted as a key feature, keeping the gameplay fresh as the AI adapts and evolves differently each time. Graphics on the page illustrate the Dynasheet concept, showing how players provide input by designing patterns on a 10x10 grid using 6 colors, which the Neuro then processes to generate output or answers on a 20x20 sheet. The concept of weight is explained as the strength of the synaptic connections within the neural network, which changes as the neuro learns. The interview concludes by considering the potential broader applications of this teacherless learning technology beyond games, such as creating more natural interfaces or intelligent agents,
and expressing excitement about how players will interact with and perceive this evolving AI.
This page dives into the whimsical world of Pen Pen Tricelon, a unique action racing game for the Dreamcast. The core concept revolves around 4 distinct courses, each designed and managed by eccentric owners. These races, featuring characters inspired by penguins, take place on and under the ice, delivering a comedic and chaotic racing experience. The game released in November. The page highlights the individuality of these 4 courses, emphasizing their elaborate designs and unique challenges that reflect the personalities of their owners. It also introduces some of the peculiar inhabitants of the ice planet biome where the races are held. We see glimpses of these creatures, including Puku-chan, an anglerfish-like denizen of the underwater swimming sections, and Naumanmo, a giant elephantine creature that serves as an obstacle on the track. The focus here is on how the natural environment and its inhabitants are integrated into the dynamic and high-speed courses, promising plenty of surprises and spectacle. This page continues, exploring the bizarre world of Pen Pen Tricelon for the Dreamcast, focusing on the unique courses and inhabitants. It highlights the game's core feature, 4 distinct courses, each with its own theme and owner, promising a wild and varied racing experience. The big news is the confirmation of simultaneous 4-player split-screen gameplay, a crucial feature for any competitive racing title, inviting players to battle it out together. We get a closer look at one of these fantastical locations, the Sweet Course, owned by Mrs. Cream. As the name suggests, this track is literally made of confectionery delights like cakes, wafers, and candies, described as being relatively easy, but packed with delicious details. The page also delves into the Ice Planet Creature Encyclopedia, introducing whimsical characters like the Konpei-uni, a colorful, worry-free sea urchin made of candy, and the ice cream-loving children who populate Mrs. Cream's sweet village. The game offers 3 difficulty grades, easy, middle, and long Isolon, which alter the challenge by introducing course gimmicks, different enemies, like Zakopen, or even playable characters like Sparky, and additional obstacles such as slippery zones. This system ensures replayability and allows players to find the difficulty level that suits them. It's clear the developers aimed for a chaotic, fun-filled racing game tied together by its unique world and characters. This page continues the exploration of the wild racing world of Pen Pen Tricelon, diving into 2 more distinct and challenging courses. First up is the Toy Course, rated at 3 stars difficulty. As the name suggests, this track is a vibrant playground filled with giant toys, blocks, and other childhood novelties scattered about. It's described as being bright and cheerful, visually appealing, but don't let that fool you entirely. The owner of this course is Bambi Mask, a whimsical character who apparently enjoys watching racers, like the Pen Pen characters, get caught up in the course's antics. Keep an eye out for the Bathtubmen, strange, cleaning-obsessed creatures that inhabit this area.
Next is the Horror Course, stepping up the difficulty to 4 stars.
This track is a stark contrast, themed around spooky elements like a mysterious mansion, a haunted forest, and an eerie snowfield, complete with scattered skeletons and ghosts. It features tricky layouts, narrow passages, and submerged sections, demanding skilled maneuvers to navigate. The owner here is the formidable Horror Man, a peculiar and arrogant being from the iced planet, known for his imposing presence and looking down upon others. The course is designed to test players' abilities across all racing styles, running, swimming, and sliding, with obstacles and characters actively trying to impede your progress. You'll need to stay focused to survive this terrifying track. This page features an interview with Saori Wada and Jun Ishiwatari, the course designers from Teamland Ho! For Pen Pen Tricelon. They discuss their approach to creating the game's unique tracks and, importantly, the shikake, which are interactive devices or gimmicks scattered throughout the courses. They explain that the visual design isn't aiming for realism, but more of a handmade feel, with things like buildings and trees being playfully deformed. The ideas for the shikake came from the whole team. The designers emphasize that these devices are strategically placed to add action to the race, calculating things like how a pen will bounce or fall, depending on speed and angle. While the core game is a race, the shikake are integral, Players can use them to their advantage for things like gaining speed or causing opponents trouble. Some shikake, like speed-sensitive bouncers or pitfalls, can even turn the tide of the race.
They also highlight a semi-spherical object called bobbin that acts like a jump pad. The designers note that skillfully utilizing these devices is crucial, and not doing so might make it hard to win. A section also announces that Pen Pen Tricelon will be playable at the Tokyo Game Show, allowing attendees to experience the game and its humorous Pen Pen characters firsthand. This page features an interview with the producer of the Dreamcast title, Godzilla Generations. The game aims to faithfully simulate Godzilla's destructive activities with a realistic system and beautiful graphics, generating high expectations. The interview highlights the collaboration with Toho Eiga staff, who are deeply involved with the Godzilla franchise and have created numerous works. They discuss the process of bringing the iconic character to Sega's new hardware, the Dreamcast. The producer emphasizes the importance of ensuring Godzilla is depicted accurately, referencing the character's evolution through the numerous films and the differing artistic interpretations. They also touch upon the blend of suitmation and digital techniques used in the movies, and how digital representation is becoming increasingly significant in the world of Godzilla. The interview title poses the question of what reactions players will have to controlling Godzilla themselves. The game is listed as an action title, compatible with the Dreamcast and scheduled for release in 1998, with the price yet to be determined. This page features an interview with Shogo Tomiyama, executive producer and managing director at Toho Eiga, known for his work on the Heisei-era Godzilla films, including the VS series. The interview focuses on the Dreamcast title, Godzilla Generations. Mr. Tomiyama shares his initial positive impressions of the game, noting its realistic destruction, human-like camera perspective, and the freedom of movement unique to a game format. He discusses the game's genre as action, and how a good action game should provide simple core mechanics with interesting details and movement. Tomiyama believes Godzilla is a character well suited for video games, and sees the game as a way to introduce the character to new audiences, hoping it encourages them to watch the films. He emphasizes the importance of keeping the character relevant through new ideas, and is actively pursuing this. The page also includes a brief filmography of his work, highlighting his extensive involvement with the Godzilla franchise and other films. This page continues the discussion about Godzilla's global presence and the unique nature of Japanese kaiju films, suggesting that the monster movie genre thrives particularly in Japan. It highlights the impact of the Ephetus Godzilla film and related merchandise, noting that user feedback from games like Godzilla Generations on Dreamcast is valuable and could even influence future films. The game itself is introduced, showcasing its radioactive breath and title screen anime, emphasizing a focus on game-related news this time around. A major campaign is announced. Let's destroy your building with Godzilla. For Godzilla Generations, this creative promotion invites readers to submit names for buildings and companies that will appear in the game's destructible city environments, allowing them to see their own submitted name potentially crushed by the King of the Monsters. The page includes screenshots showing the detailed city streets featured in the game. They also mention a call for reader ideas and mini-guides for Atsumete Godzilla. The campaign details and submission address are provided for interested readers to participate in this unique interactive experience. This page continues the deep dive into the Godzilla universe, kicking off with a look at the movie Tain, Mothra 3, King Ghidorah Attacks. It showcases iconic imagery of Mothra battling the three-headed dragon, King Ghidorah, tying the film world into the gaming coverage. Moving on, the page shifts focus to the portable title, Atsumete Godzilla, which was mentioned on the previous page in relation to a reader campaign. This section serves as a comprehensive guide, detailing how players can raise monsters from eggs. The game features 4 different farms that influence monster evolution, leading to a diverse roster of creatures. There's a list of 16 possible adult forms you can raise, including fan favorites like Manila, Rodan, Mothra in its larval stage, King Ghidorah, and more. A key mechanic highlighted is battling other monsters. Winning lets you absorb Drana, which can trigger sudden mutations, transforming your monster into a different species altogether. This system adds a layer of strategy and unpredictability. The ultimate goal is to complete the Kaiju Encyclopedia, featuring over 30 monsters to collect. The guide also offers quick tips on getting stronger through attack training, the chance for weaker monsters to score critical hits, and the importance of spirit in battle. This portable game seems like a cool way for fans to engage with the monsters between major console releases. This Dreamcast page addresses fan desires, starting with updates and reader-submitted VMU art. A poll ranks desired game developers, with Square leading but Namco surging, fueling speculation about their Dreamcast involvement, alongside potential announcements from Capcom and Konami. The page spotlights Human Entertainment, known for sports, e.g. Superformation Soccer, 95 della Serie A, and horror titles, like the Clock Tower series. It showcases their past Sega platform support, highlighting Mega Drive, fastest one, and Saturn, Fire Pro Wrestling S6 Men's Scramble, releases, complete with screenshots. Readers express interest in sequels and compilation releases for Human's franchises. This page presents a direct interview with Human Entertainment about their plans for the Dreamcast. They confirm they have already signed a contract with Sega and are currently researching how best to utilize the hardware's unique features. While they haven't received development kits yet, a dedicated team is exploring the possibilities. Human is interested in releasing various genres, including sports games, adventure, and racing, as well as entirely new original titles. They specifically mention the high likelihood of bringing Fire Pro Wrestling to Dreamcast, suggesting potential uses for the VMU, such as editing wrestlers and connecting units for simulated matches. Bakusu Dekotora Densetsu is another title they are enthusiastic about porting, envisioning upgraded graphics and VMU integration. They are also considering titles like Clock Tower. Human is excited about the Dreamcast's graphical power and plans to go all out in developing high-quality titles. Saturn Magazine's own prediction places the likelihood of Human's Dreamcast entry at 70%, with Fire Pro Wrestling highlighted as a particularly anticipated release. This article explores potential Dreamcast peripherals, featuring reader concepts and expert feedback. Ideas include a light gun with a built-in VMU screen for stats, receiving a low score due to practicality concerns. A dedicated fishing reel attachment for the VMU, designed for games like Get Bass, also scored poorly despite features like vibration and simulated fishing mechanics. The highest scoring idea, a floppy disk drive for expanded data saving, earned praise for its simplicity and data management capabilities. The article also references Hudson's Pocket family as an example of a successful handheld device, inspiring peripheral ideas. The page also includes a section for reader submissions and questions for game developers. This page acts as a guide to the contents of the magazine, featuring charming artwork of two anime-style girls on the right, possibly characters from a featured game like Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 or Etude Prologue, based on the style and publishers listed in the copyright. The page is divided into sections detailing what's covered deeper within. The special report teases new information on eagerly awaited games like Shining Force 2, I Scenario 3, Martian Successor Nadesico, and a Sakura Wars title. The Coming Soon Soft section gives a preview of titles just about to hit shelves, highlighting games such as Suikoden, Densha de Go X, and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. There's also a section for new release titles, offering follow-up reports on recently launched games, including Capcom Generation Volume 3 and Idol Janshi Tsuchipai. Lastly, a complete guide section promises detailed strategies and useful data for players, featuring titles like Black Matrix. This page focuses on the highly anticipated SEGA Saturn release of the acclaimed horse-breeding simulation game, Derby Stallion. Described as the pinnacle of the genre, the page highlights the game's arrival on the SEGA Saturn, promising new screenshots and exclusive elements for this version. A special report provides key details, noting the game is published by ASC2, slated for an autumn 1998 release, with a price of 6,800 yen. It confirms the genre as a horse-breeding simulation, supports one player, and is recommended for all ages. The page prominently features several screenshots, showcasing the in-game racing action, and includes a section specifically announcing the public reveal of screenshots for the Derby Stallion, SEGA Saturn version. The large title logo and English subtitle, Derby Stallion, are displayed at the bottom, complete with a trophy graphic. The SEGA Saturn release of Derby Stallion introduced 3 exclusive features. First, the 98 race program updated the game with real-world racing schedules and rules, including GI race designations and race location changes. Second, the Saturn version boasted an 18-horse full gate, a first for the series, enhancing visual realism and race intensity. Finally, the game implemented an autosave system,
saving progress to both internal and cartridge RAM for added convenience. These improvements, along with the integration with a Super Famicom update, distinguish the Saturn version as a significant enhancement over previous iterations, appealing to both casual and dedicated players. This page dives into the long-awaited masterpiece horse racing simulation game for Saturn users, exploring the depth of its systems by looking at the series' history. It highlights that Derby Stallion has been released across various hardware, with the Saturn version being the 13th title, and promises to focus on the core gameplay systems, training, and production. The article details the crucial training system, explaining it's fundamental to raising your horses. It outlines the 5 different training courses available: turf, dirt, wood chip, sloping course, and pool, noting how each affects the horse's abilities differently. Training isn't just about running. It emphasizes the importance of managing your horse's condition through rest to prevent injuries and maintain an efficient training balance. The page includes examples of horse information screens showing stats, lineage, and trainer feedback. For newcomers, the page introduces the recommended training feature, where the computer handles the training regimen. While first introduced in the '96 version, its effectiveness saw significant improvement in the PlayStation release, offering stable training tailored to the horse's potential. It also briefly showcases some of the unique trainers you'll encounter, each with their own style, like focusing on rest or specializing in certain distances. The page even features Mr. DB, a mysterious thoroughbred gentleman who appears in a comic panel. The next page delves deeper into the core systems of Derby Stallion, moving from training to the equally vital aspect of production or breeding. Here, you act as the ranch owner, focusing on creating new generations of racehorses and building strong bloodlines. The game emphasizes the importance of carefully selecting stallions and mares to produce successful offspring, a crucial part of maintaining the series' legacy. The page also highlights the wide variety of stallions available for breeding in this Saturn version, noting that there are more options than in previous installments, which is exciting for longtime fans. The article briefly touches upon the different types and fees associated with breeding. Beyond just breeding, the page explores other elements of ranch management. Players can build various facilities on their farm, such as hot springs to aid in horse recovery from injuries and retirement farms for older horses. The ability to expand your ranch is key, allowing you to raise more horses simultaneously. Mr. DB makes another appearance in a comic panel, offering his thoughts on these aspects of the game. A small screenshot from the PlayStation version is included, noting the detailed visual presentation of the ranch facilities. This page features a discussion between 2 experts, Ko Ishida, also known as Hawkstone, and Narizawa, about the appeal of the masterpiece horse racing simulation game, Derby Stallion, awaited by Saturn users. They delve into the game's depth and the unique experiences it offers. The conversation highlights how Derby Stallion goes beyond simple racing, generating memorable moments and dramatic outcomes through various coincidences and the individual characteristics of the horses. Even seemingly simple actions in the game can lead to unexpected and poignant events. The experts praise how the game manages to evoke a sense of life in the on-screen horses, despite relying on just 4 core parameters: speed, stamina, guts, and temperament. A key point emphasized is that players cannot directly see the numerical values of these parameters, requiring observation and intuition to understand their horses, which is a crucial skill for success. A small screenshot shows an example of horse stats and information within the game. The page also includes a photo of Ko Ishida. This page continues the discussion about Derby Stallion with Ko Ishida, and now features Daisuke Narisawa, representative director of SEGA's project. The conversation highlights the game's ability to create incredibly dramatic races, recalling specific instances where unexpected outcomes occurred due to the horse's simulated traits. They marvel at how the game generates such compelling narratives through its mechanics, creating moments that feel almost impossible yet happen due to the unique blend of simulated factors. A significant aspect discussed is the Breeders' Cup, a feature where players can race their user-bred horses against each other. This is seen as another core way to enjoy the game, fostering a community around producing strong horses and competing. They note that official magazines and user groups often hold tournaments with custom rules, adding another layer of depth and replayability. Narisawa, known for his background in game media and other game series, shares his perspective on the game's lasting appeal. They discuss the depth of the bloodline system and how players can get deeply invested in breeding specific lineages. The official guidebook, which includes a 4-generation pedigree chart, is highlighted as an essential tool for serious breeders. The page includes a photo of Daisuke Narisawa and screenshots showing game menus and a race scene. A small section also defines key horse racing and game terms. This page features an advertisement for Falcom Classics 2 on the SEGA Saturn, a compilation bringing 2 acclaimed titles from Nihon Falcom to the console. The collection includes YS2, the direct sequel to the legendary action RPG YS, which was featured in the first Falcom Classics compilation. YS2 is highlighted for its engaging story and memorable characters, continuing the adventures from the first game. The second game in the package is Azteca 2, Temple of the Sun, an adventure game known for utilizing impressive graphics and CG. This Saturn release takes full advantage of the hardware's capabilities, enhancing the original games with updated graphics and background music. Notably, YS2 includes new animated movies for its opening and ending, as well as voice acting added to key event scenes, aiming to provide a more immersive experience for players. The game is released in 2 versions simultaneously: a premium limited edition, which includes a music CD alongside the game disc, and a standard edition. Both versions come with bonus digital image files and unique disc labels. Developed and published by Victor Entertainment, this collection was released on October 29, 1998, offering Saturn owners a chance to experience or re-experience these cherished Falcom classics with modern enhancements. The page features artwork of characters from both games. This page features an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn release of Falcom Classics, appearing as part of the Budget SATA collection series. The artwork prominently displays characters from the YS series, with the heroine Fina looking on as the protagonist Adol Christine rests in a field, set against a backdrop of mountains and sky, capturing the adventurous spirit of the games. This release brings 3 of Falcom's renowned RPG titles together on one disc. It's specifically highlighted that this budget version is released ahead of the upcoming Falcom Classics 2. A notable feature is the ability to load save data from the YS game included in this collection into Falcom Classics 2 to unlock voice-acted event scenes in YS2, offering an enhanced experience when playing both titles. The advertisement announces an emergency release date of September 17, 1998, at a standard price of 2,800 yen. There is also a special promotion offering an original YS character telephone card to 1,000 people who return the included postcard by the end of 1998. The page also shows the box art for the first Falcom Classics collection. This release provides an accessible way for Saturn owners to dive into or revisit these classic Falcom RPGs. This page features an advertisement for the dating sim She's Lian, known as Season in Japan, coming to the SEGA Saturn. The artwork showcases the game's main characters in a bright, friendly style, centered around a cute plush toy. As a love-adventure game, She's Main revolves around themes tied to the 4 seasons: spring for beginnings, summer for passion, autumn for challenges, and winter for reflection, suggested by the vertical text on the sides. The game is rated 18+, and is set for a winter release at a provisional price of 6,800 yen. There's a pre-order campaign offering a special aluminum business card case to everyone who reserves the game and returns the included postcard, allowing them to choose a preferred season. This looks like a classic example of the story-driven dating sims popular on the Saturn. This page is the Reader's Submission Corner, titled Aim for Submission King. It features letters from readers across Japan sharing their thoughts and experiences on various topics, including observations on daily life, comments on previous articles or reader posts, and thoughts related to games or media. For instance, one reader from Kochi Prefecture talks about a strange encounter at the airport, while another from Nara Prefecture discusses the impact of the end of summer. Interspersed with the text are illustrations. There's a section showcasing this week's Jijino-chan, with original character art. Other panels feature illustrations seemingly related to specific games or submitted by readers, such as artwork for the Sega Saturn title Sengoku Turbo and the arcade shooter Esprit, which later saw a Saturn port in Japan. Readers also comment on media references like traffic safety posters, using characters from mobile battleship Nadesico. It's a lively section connecting the magazine with its audience through shared experiences and creative submissions. This page is the Saturn User Plaza, a space where readers share their thoughts and creations. We hear from fans across Japan discussing various topics related to the console and gaming world. One reader expresses strong support for the Sega Ages series and the idea of bringing classic Genesis and Mega Drive titles to the Saturn and future Dreamcast. Another shares a moving reflection upon seeing a magazine cover titled, "Goodbye Sega Saturn," preferring to embrace a hopeful, "Hello again Sega Saturn" perspective, highlighting the console's lasting appeal. The game Atelier Marie is spotlighted by a reader who found it a deeply nostalgic and heartwarming experience, emphasizing its blend of exploration, crafting, and collection that appeals broadly, even to those who might not typically play games with a female lead. In a fun section, readers attempt to guess the meaning behind a mysterious spiral symbol, with various incorrect answers like labyrinth, digital camera, and Dreamcast submitted, proving the puzzle to be quite tricky as 0 correct answers were received this week. The page also features the Manga Plaza, showcasing reader-submitted comics that touch on diverse themes, from daily life to unique takes on game concepts, and even regional events or legends. It's a vibrant collection of community voices and creativity. The SEGA Saturn User Plaza highlights community news and contributions. Rumors include a possible value pack for Even Games and a Pocket Sonic accessory. Whispers also swirled around a genre shift for a new Street Fighter Alpha 3 sequel and new projects from well-known developers. The plaza features a Hall of Fame for top contributors and a list of current point leaders. Teach Me Show answers reader questions, covering topics like character identification and obscure queries. Black Soup Screamers showcases diverse reader artwork, with this week's submissions including drawings inspired by mobile suits, Fighting Vipers, Street Fighter parodies, and Godzilla, demonstrating the community's wide-ranging interests. This page is dedicated to the Letters Park King, a section showcasing reader submissions including fan art and messages. It features a vibrant collection of illustrations, highlighting various popular Sega Saturn titles. Prominently displayed are detailed drawings inspired by games such as Shining Force 2 Eyes, featuring character portraits and group shots, and Grandia, with multiple illustrations depicting its cast. There are also dynamic pieces for fighting games like Astra Superstars, including fan-favorite characters like Rouge, and artwork for the beloved adventure series Sakura Wars, featuring Sakura Shinguji. Other submissions touch upon darker RPGs like Soul Hackers, and even Digital Monster vs. Readers share brief thoughts alongside their art, expressing their passion for the games and characters. Comments range from appreciating game mechanics and character designs to more personal anecdotes. The page also includes an information section outlining the rules for submitting contributions, specifying the format for artwork and text, and mentioning acceptable materials. It also details the point system, where readers earn points for getting their work published, which can be redeemed for prizes like Sega Saturn games or merchandise. The submission address is provided at the bottom, encouraging more reader participation. This page is a mail-order catalog from Creative Human, announcing that their department will change its name to B1 Mail Order Department, starting with the October issue. It lists various Sega Saturn games and software available for purchase, including new releases and titles from the budget SEGA Saturn collection. You can find a wide range of titles here, from popular RPGs like Slayer's Royal 2 featuring Lena Inverse and Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3 showcasing Julian, to unique simulations like Simulation RPG Maker and Virtual Call S. There are also fighting games like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and classic arcade ports such as Strikers 1945-2 and games in the Sega Saturn collection line like Thunder Force V and Dynamite Cop. Character art for games like Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, Find Love 2, and Martian successor Nadesico. The blank of 3 years are featured alongside Giran Zabi from the Giran's Greed Guide. The page provides contact information, operating hours for phone orders, and details on shipping costs, which are fixed at 780 yen, including fees. They even offer a special service to ship posters without folding them. Ordering can be done via fax or postcard, with forms provided for detailing items, quantities, and payment information. It's a comprehensive listing for any Saturn fan looking to expand their collection directly through mail order. This page features an article titled, Story of Boys and Girls at the End of the 20th Century, with the large text, Look at Me. The subheading poses the question, is a life not recognized by anyone meaningless? The article appears to be a reflective piece or personal narrative about a young man named Yugileiji and his experiences growing up. It touches upon themes of identity, the struggle for recognition, and finding one's place, particularly as one enters adulthood at the turn of the century. The text describes Yuji's journey from school, including leaving home for Tokyo, applying for jobs, working part-time, and eventually entering the entertainment industry. It mentions interviews and photo sessions, and the initial rejections faced, highlighting the desire to be acknowledged. The article references a specific magazine, and even mentions Takuya Kimura, grounding the narrative in the pop culture landscape of the time. While the subject matter is personal and reflective, it fits within the magazine's broader coverage of youth culture and entertainment, offering a glimpse into the aspirations and challenges faced by young people. Notably, the photo accompanying the article, showing two young individuals, is explicitly stated to be unrelated to the text.
This page features the weekly SEGA Saturn Times column. It includes a recurring section titled, "Are You Clinging to a Misunderstood Identity?", where author Hitoshi Futamura discusses perspectives on identity and how it relates to popularity. There's also a large feature on Deep Otaku Culture World, inviting readers to participate in themed joint parties, specifically mentioning concepts like fetishes, transfer students, and even widows, illustrated with a drawing of pregnant girls. The page includes a profile of Something Yoshimatsu, who shares his journey into the anime industry, from making fan animations in school inspired by classics like Space Battleship Yamato, known internationally as Star Blazers, and magical girl shows like Minky Momo, leading him to pursue a career in animation. There's also a brief profile of writer Housei Tsuruoka. Finally, the page offers a few secrets to being popular points, and a short comic strip titled Ushitaro Den, maintaining the magazine's blend of gaming news, lifestyle advice, and cultural commentary relevant to its audience. This page features the hyper-column Free Talk section, with a contribution from Tomomi Sakurai titled Message to My Heart, Volume 24. She shares a story about being impressed by a sewing machine demonstration at a store, and the salesman being so enthusiastic he brought the machine to her house, only for her sister to get the long demonstration as she was out. She reflects on the guilt of showing interest without buying. Below this is an information block noting a cancelled performance of a play she was in, Serenade at the Glass Factory, which has been rescheduled with details on dates and location. The page also includes Izumi Takemoto's various notes, focusing on a signing event where few people attended, making it quite enjoyable. A short comic strip illustrates a conversation about scheduling more signing events, including a proposed day trip to Osaka and Kyoto, and features a running gag about a local cafe possibly closing or being closed for a period. The comic captures the slightly chaotic and humorous side of managing appearances and daily life. The signing events mentioned did apparently happen as a day trip to Osaka and Kyoto, as concluded at the end of the section. This page features several columns. First, Fumio Kurokawa writes, For Safe and Comfortable Walking, Volume 24, recounting his experience buying shoes, being impressed by the instruction manual's detail on walking safety and shoe care, and also discussing the frustration of having small objects in your shoe. He also mentions a pair of leather shoes he hasn't worn yet, which are causing him internal conflict. Next is Ikebukuro Sarah's Virtua Crash, Volume 58, where Sarah discusses being out of touch with the Virtua Fighter scene lately, possibly due to the development of Gouken 2. However, she reminisces about playing billiards and being quite skilled, suggesting she might pick it up again. An information block below provides URLs related to Gouken 2. Finally, the Yukun This Week column talks about a trip to Yukun and Kamijima from August 15th to 18th. The author notes that while they didn't see much blue sky, the sea was definitely blue. They also mention the difficulty of walking on a sandy beach, apparently painful, and a photo below shows two people, presumably from the trip. Hanakuma Yusaku's Saturn Magazine Yusaku comic satirizes generational gaps through humor, playing on the word dream, likely a reference to the upcoming Dreamcast. The comic depicts scenes of a man desperately pleading for a Dreamcast, a father scolding his son for gaming, and older characters discussing dreams. The humor explores differing perspectives on aspirations and aging, with the dream theme taking on unexpected twists when an older man requests Viagra, declaring it our dream. The comic concludes with a man engrossed in a game, hinting at the generation gap. The column utilizes the cultural context of upcoming technological advancements, contrasting youthful enthusiasm with the realities of aging desires. A humorous aside on the page reinforces the central theme. This page features the column Noriyuki Iwadare World, Come On Everybody Volume 8, by composer Noriyuki Iwadare. He starts by mentioning finishing summer and his work progressing, noting he's currently composing music for a sequel to the PlayStation title True Love Story,
and upcoming dance music for November. He then takes a time slip to 1992, looking back at his busy schedule from 6 years prior, using an old planner. He recounts significant work, like the CD recording and voice recording for Lunar, The Silver Star, voice recording for Rise of the Dragon, arranging a single, working on the Beep. Mega Drive Magazine, May 1992 issue is pictured. Recording at MI Studio, arranging a karaoke theme, working on the Sim Earth CD version, and arranging for Lunar 2, Eternal Blue. Photos of the Beep. Mega Drive Magazine and his planner accompany this look back. The column also includes sections for This Week's Disc and Equipment Introduction. The featured disc is Tokyo Disneyland 15 Years of Magic, a CD Iwadare worked on, featuring nostalgic parade and show music, which he describes as wonderful. The equipment spotlight is on the Rode NT1 microphone, praised for its clear sound quality and wide dynamic range at an affordable price, under 30,000 yen, making it ideal for vocal or acoustic instrument recording. There's also a small personal photo section showing Iwadare, taken by his son, related to his homepage. This page features the column Hayama Hiroji's Men's Empire, written by composer Hiroji Hayama, known as Aniki by game music fans. Hayama delves into his past, revealing that he was once a great heartbreak king, with over 20 heartbreaks in his 20s. He shares a rarely told, personal story. He recounts a significant love from middle and high school, with a girl he calls Kin-chan. He describes being completely consumed by her, devising ways to see her, and even walking past her house just to feel close. He details the intensity of his feelings, and his devastating reaction when she got a boyfriend, leaving him heartbroken and riding his motorcycle aimlessly in the cold night. Narrative jumps to the Great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake in 1995. Concerned for the girl who lived in the affected area, he called a number she had given him earlier. They reconnected, both having gone through immense hardship, his heartbreak, and her experience with the disaster. In a twist of fate, this girl is now his wife, and he credits her support as being crucial to his later career revival and current vitality. The page includes a photo of Hiroji Hayama, and mentions that several of his albums, including Aniki and Game Music is Dead, have been re-released. This page is an advertisement announcing a Super Showdown event and participant recruitment hosted by Technos International College, specifically the Tokyo Institute of Technology Professional School. The event is described as a knockout battle, utilizing the latest game software, themed or named Game Fire Bound. The showdown is scheduled for September 20th, a Sunday, starting at 3 p.m. Alongside the game event, the school is also holding concurrent Experience Entrance Days, highlighting their Multimedia Department Game Creator course. These events aim to help prospective students turn their future dreams into reality. Additional dates for these Experience Days are listed for later in the year, including September 27th, October 11th and 25th, November 22nd, and December 12th. The ad encourages anyone interested to feel free to visit. Contact information, including a toll-free phone number and the school's address, is provided for inquiries and applications regarding the game event. This page provides a detailed strategy guide for the SEGA Saturn RPG, Lunar 2, Eternal Blue. It continues the walkthrough from a previous article, covering the section of the game from Maribia's underground waterway up to the Red Dragon's lair. The guide emphasizes navigating key dungeons along this path. Featured prominently is a map of the first level of the Maribia underground waterway, complete with coordinates and markers indicating important locations like switches and corresponding bridges, essential for progression. Additionally, there's a strategy flowchart outlining the major story beats and locations players will visit in the game's mid to latter stages. This includes significant encounters like meeting Leo, the fateful meeting with Lucia at the top of the Blue Tower, acquiring Lucia as a companion, and later meeting Ranafa in the desert village Rapa, and recruiting him after breaking Lucia's curse. The flowchart traces the journey through areas like the Dragon's Ruin, East Saiyan Desert, Hyro's House, the Blue Labyrinth, Blue Tower, the desert village Rapa, West Saiyan Desert, the port town Dalton, the dragon steamer Valgan, and the Stargazer's Forest. Highlighting key narrative moments like rescuing Lucia from Leo. The text also briefly mentions the new crest system introduced specifically for the Saturn version of the game, indicating it will be explained in more detail. It advises players to stock up on items before heading into the Red Dragon's lair,
and to mine their HP and MP in the underground waterway 2 due to upcoming battles. The next page dives into the strategy for the sacred city of Pentagoulia in Lunar 2, Eternal Blue. It outlines the crucial plot point where Hyro is captured by Galleon, imposter Althena, and imprisoned in the White Tower, where he meets Leo. The guide highlights that the 4 towers, white, red, blue, and black, are connected underground and must be cleared. A key strategy is to utilize the goddess Althena statue for recovery after each tower. After conquering all 4, a path to the Grand Shrine opens to rescue Lucia. Detailed maps are provided for the white and red towers, showing floor layouts and the locations of obtainable items. The guide specifically notes that items in the red tower are concentrated on the 4th floor. Item lists for the towers include valuable gear like the steel shield, platinum blade, and healing ring, along with several stardust lights. The strategy flowchart continues, tracing the party's journey through locations like the Lance Forest, the village of Tamis, Vent Mountain, and the village of Note. It marks significant story events, including meeting Jean and Lemina, encountering Galleon in the ancient ruins, and the temporary departure and subsequent rejoining of Lucia in the Ruse Snow Mountains. The chart concludes with the return to Maribia, a confrontation at Linus's dojo, and the events at Machine Mountain leading to Lucia's capture before heading into the Maribia underground waterway. This guide details the final stages of Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, covering the blue and black towers, and the Pentagoulia Grand Shrine. The blue and black towers each feature detailed floor maps and distinct enemy types. The blue tower emphasizes physical defense, while the black tower requires magical defense. Key items like the gem list and spirit hair ornament can be found. The walkthrough then proceeds to the Pentagoulia Grand Shrine, providing maps to guide players through the basement, entrance, and balcony. The goal is to rescue the remaining companions, and ultimately, Lucia. The guide follows a flowchart starting from Machine Mountain, highlighting key locations like Vane, Watergate Forest, Azato, the airship Vulcan, and Pentagoulia. It details Hero's imprisonment and rescue, then specifies the order of companion rescues in the towers, Ronfar, Jean, and Lemina, before the final rescue of the team in the Pentagoulia Grand Shrine. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, presenting the next steps in the journey via a clear flowchart and detailed dungeon information. The flowchart on the right picks up after Pentagoulia, guiding players through the Goddess Tower, a return to Machine Mountain via teleportation, obtaining the airship Vulcan after a duel with Leo, and then progressing through the White Dragon Cave, the town of Martial Arts Horn, the fighting arena where you face Linus, the Blue Dragon Cave, the Zabak Mines, Neo Vane and its Labyrinth of Tribulation, where Ronfar and Jean are challenged, the New Magic Guild, to confront Borgin, back to the Zabak Mines, then the Black Dragon Cave, and finally reaching the village of Rakrul. On the left, the guide focuses on 2 significant locations, the White Dragon Cave and the Blue Dragon Cave. The White Dragon Cave section provides maps for several areas within the cave, highlighting its icy environment, where fire magic is effective. It also lists various valuable items players can find, including rings and crests. Following this is the Blue Dragon Cave section, which includes dungeon maps, and notes that while linear, it's divided into many small sections. The text advises focusing on Hyro and Jean's skills when battling the Blue Fiend, and suggests equipping water-resistant gear. These sections provide essential tactical advice and navigational assistance for key mid-to-late game dungeons. This section of the Lunar 2, Eternal Blue Guide, covers the late game, picking up after Pentagoulia. Players proceed to Sarakam's Shrine, the Red Dragon Cave, and then utilize the airship Vulcan to break Pentagoulia's barrier. The journey then takes the heroes to Magic City Altena and the Goddess Tower, before going to Vane for a duel with Galleon, culminating in Zophar's castle and the main story ending. A subsequent special game at Hero's House unlocks the true ending. Detailed maps are provided for the Blue Dragon Cave, including item locations for the Storm Staff and other valuable items, and the Zabak Mines. The Zabak Mines section features maps and warns of complex paths, explosive enemies, and potential for getting lost. The guide provides a list of items found within the Zabak Mines, such as the Silver Light and the Earth Dragon Ring. This page dives into the continuation of your journey in Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, specifically covering the Black Dragon Cave and the Red Dragon Cave, following the events in Neo Dragon Cave and your passage through the Zabak Mines.
you'll navigate the multi-leveled Black Dragon Cave. The guide highlights the presence of poisonous swamps and dangerous enemies known for draining MP and causing paralysis, so stay alert. Detailed maps are provided for floors B1F through B6F, leading to the sealed chamber, along with a list of obtainable items including the storm staff and various rings and healing items. The guide then moves on to the Red Dragon Cave, accessed after visiting Sarakam's shrine and gaining the Red Dragon's power. This section provides maps for floors 1 through 5 and the sealed chamber, where you'll reportedly encounter the adult form of Ruby. Like the Black Dragon Cave, there's a list of valuable items you can find, such as the Holy Bell hairpin, life orb, swordsman's armor, and numerous other rings and useful recovery items. The SEGA Saturn version of Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, introduced an emblem system, offering characters magic and various effects. With 26 emblems total, players are encouraged to experiment with combinations. Some emblems are purchased from traveling merchants post-Pentagulia, while others are dropped by enemies. The page provides 2 key sections. The first details each emblem, its acquisition location, and its effect. Effects include elemental magic access, stat boosts, and status ailment resistances. The second section lists spells usable when a specific emblem is equipped, including spell name, MP cost, and effect. These spells range from elemental attacks to status effects and dragon-specific abilities. Even equipping a single emblem provides access to magic, beneficial for physical attackers like Jean. This page continues the deep dive into Lunar 2, Eternal Blue's emblem system, specifically detailing the powerful effects and new magic you gain by combining 2 different emblems. As you can see, pairing certain emblems unlocks potent spells, boosts character stats significantly, and grants unique abilities, offering even more strategic depth beyond equipping just one. This is crucial for maximizing your party's potential in combat. Additionally, the page highlights the game's collectible hunt, finding all 16 bromides. It offers hints for several of these hidden items, giving clues tied to characters like Lamia, Jean, Jessica, and Nia, and specific locations or conditions in the game world. It also notes that the remaining bromides include some featuring Lucia and Galeon, Borgin in a unique scene, and even the Masked Man, pointing players towards locations like the Kai Mountain and Vane to complete their collection. Collecting all these pictures is a fun side quest for completionists. This page is dedicated to the sound novel Machi, Unmai no Crossroad, featuring the 15th installment of its message board, Reader Corner. The main theme questions readers about their experiences playing Machi during their summer vacation visits to Shibuya, a central location in the game. There's a free talk section where staff members Ume and Tetsu discuss reader mail, sharing anecdotes and thoughts related to the game's memorable moments, characters, and music, including specific scenes and sound effects. One recurring segment, this week's Machi playtask, challenges players with a specific scenario, like the current task, which is, let's leave this town. A prominent feature is the Gallery Dogonzaka, showcasing a Invincible Girl Sailor Dolls special feature, which includes fan art or character profiles related to key female characters from Machi, referred to here as Sailor Dolls. Staff and readers comment on their favorite characters from this group. The page also introduces the staff responsible for this section, Ume and Tetsu, informally known as the Machi Fools, and provides information on how readers can submit their letters and contributions. Finally, there's a tips section highlighting a specific character, Ryuji Takamine, and a location or event likely related to Shibuya's 109 building within the game, pinpointed to a specific date and time, October 11th at 10 a.m. This page clearly serves as a community hub for fans of Machi, encouraging discussion and participation. This page promotes the official strategy guide series published by SoftBank. Featured is the guide for Dragon Force 2, covering this popular SEGA Saturn simulation RPG. It details the rich events and unique characters, provides a thorough strategy walkthrough, and explains the battle system including troop types and special moves, as well as domestic commands like personnel management and searching. The guide also includes complete character and item lists, and item synthesis methods. Next up is the official guide for Shining Force 2, Scenario 2, Child of God Taken. This guide focuses on data essential for the simulation RPG, including complete map data up to the final stage. It's structured to be data-heavy, detailing hidden item locations and enemy appearances, providing users with necessary information. Finally, there's the official guide for the SEGA Saturn version of Multilancer Reinforce. This guide explains the changes specific to the Saturn release, including battle scenes and added events. It's presented in full color and significantly expanded in page count. As a special bonus, it includes 2 original trading cards and a chance to receive a signed Shikishi board from the voice actors, making it a must-have for fans. This page presents the official reader questionnaire for the magazine. It's designed to gather detailed feedback from readers like me, covering everything from basic demographics such as age and occupation to which other gaming magazines we follow. Crucially, for a hardcore player, it asks about the SEGA Saturn hardware we currently own and, perhaps more excitingly, the SEGA Saturn and upcoming Dreamcast software titles we're planning to add to our collection. These choices are made by picking from extensive lists provided right on the page, covering a wide range of consoles, peripherals, and games for both platforms. There's also a section for rating the articles in this very issue, giving us a chance to tell the editors what we thought was interesting, or perhaps less so. It's a standard way for the magazine to stay connected with its dedicated audience. 2 essential companion books for Sakura Wars 2 fans are advertised. The Sakura Wars 2 character-specific thorough strategy guide Days of Love and Battle is a 464-page, full-color A5 guide. It provides in-depth character strategies, story digests, and battle tips using a link icon system. This guide, perfect for relationship-focused players, releases in late September for 1,800 yen. The second book, the Sakura Wars 2 Original Art and Setting Material Collection, is a 160-page A4 book. It contains original character designs, setting materials, storyboards, and mech details, alongside cast and staff interviews. This book includes a poster and a paper model. Also releasing in late September, it's priced at 2,000 yen. Both books promise to enhance the Sakura Wars 2 experience. This page features a special report on Shining Force 2, Scenario 3, Palace of the Frozen God. It delves into the story of the latter half of Chapter 1, following Julian and his army. A key focus is the mysterious girl, Jane, who appears to offer assistance and possesses strange powers of both positive and negative force. The report highlights important plot points, including a confrontation with Goliath and the appearance of the ancient weapon, Valkyrie. Several screenshots showcase the tactical battles, including encounters with the Valkyries and other enemy forces in different environments. The page also provides character profiles for key members of Julian's force, such as Gracia, Dawnhort, Kate, Ekkel, and Isabella, detailing their starting stats and roles, indicating they join at various points in the game. Additionally, a section references Gracie's diary from Scenario 2, hinting at connections between the different story paths. The article builds anticipation for this next installment in the Shining Force 2 saga, confirming it as a simulation RPG for one player. Chapter 2 of Shining Force 2-1, The Dragon's Graveyard, introduces the synchronicity system, where player choices directly influence the story. The chapter follows Julian's army, led by Scar, through a perilous graveyard, facing challenges including Jane, manipulated by the Prism Sect, and a green dragon. The key encounter is with Sauron, the White Dragon. Sauron's fate, and thus his later role, hinges on the player's actions. If Krikops speaks to Sauron during the battle, Sauron joins the party as an ally. Otherwise, Sauron dies, impacting a later event in Foothill Village. New recruits include Bridget, Lori, based on earlier dialogue, Krikops, rejoining, and Sauron, conditional. This chapter highlights the synchronicity system's depth, emphasizing how player decisions shape the game's narrative and army composition. This page introduces the SEGA Saturn game Martian successor, Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, an adventure game set in the 3-year period between the TV series and the movie. It covers the untold story during this significant time jump. The game is scheduled for release on September 23rd for 6,800 yen. It is a single-player adventure title spread across 2 Creedroms and is recommended for all ages. A major highlight discussed is the opening movie, which features new animation and blends elements from both the TV series and the movie. The opening theme is the movie's image song, Forever Love. The opening also includes a segment by the popular How My Girls, who guide the player through the game's mechanics and provide a preview of the game's atmosphere in their signature style, which fans will appreciate. The game comes bundled with a bonus soundtrack CD, featuring tracks like the game's ending theme, Let's Go to the Sea of Stars, and songs performed by the How My Girls and other cast members for the game, such as I Can't Take Off My Pearl Earring and Kitchen Party. This edition seems designed to please fans of the series' music. The Sega Saturn game Martian successor Nadesico. The blank of 3 years opens with a prologue, setting the stage for a branching main story. This prologue, explored in this page, immediately follows the anime's finale. Scene 1 begins on Mars, showing the Nadesico's boson jump and the separation of its core unit. Scene 2, set in the mess hall, introduces the player character who experiences an unexplained anomaly, an extra person on board. This is where the game officially begins from their perspective. The player then awakens in an unfamiliar room, facing their first choices about how to proceed. The article also mentions the game's incorporation of Ruri Hoshino's iconic SEGA Saturn Shiro line, a nod to the console's commercials. This introductory overview promises a game that expands upon the anime's story, while offering a new player perspective. This page continues the dive into the prologue of Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, detailing how player actions influence the main story. The protagonist's sudden appearance on the Nadesico is met with surprising acceptance by characters like Shiratori Tsukumo and Yukina. During the journey to Earth, the player has relative freedom. Scene 1 depicts the interrogation, where the protagonist is discovered, learns of their amnesia, and is found wearing a Jovian soldier's uniform, leading to an attempted restraint by Goat. The player manages to escape while with Jun, leading to a chase sequence.
A key gameplay system introduced is the personality matrix. This system tracks the protagonist's personality on 2 axes, passive/active and cool/emotional, which shifts based on player choices and directly impacts the story's direction. An example shows how choosing to interact with unfamiliar food influences personality towards being emotional and active, while refraining but then standing up is cool but also active. Scene 2 throws the protagonist into battle alongside Akatsuki during their escape attempt. This unexpected encounter leads to a sortie in an estivalis, with the protagonist acting as navigator. The page also features insights from the voice cast. Noriko Morishima discusses reprising her role as Yurika and also playing Sapphire. Omi Minami shares her experience voicing Ruri and the surprising addition of Nanako talking there. Naoko Takano talks about Megumi's evolution over time, noting her becoming an idol and perhaps a bit more selfish, but fundamentally still the same cute character. This page explores key events in the Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years prologue, focusing on player choices and character interactions. Scene 3 details the protagonist's return to the Nadesico, their integration with the crew, and the discovery of a photo. Branching paths, driven by player choices, lead to unique scenes and humorous moments. The prologue concludes with Scene 4 and the Nadesico's journey to Earth. The personality matrix, tracking passive/active and cool/emotional traits, determines the main story scenario. The page also includes voice actor interviews. Yokoyama Chisa discusses Subaru Ryoko, Nagashima Yuko talks about Irina Kinjo Wong and the recording process, and Mizutani Yuko shares insights on voicing Aquamarine from Gekiganger 3. The page hints at the broader relevance of other Gekiganger 3 characters within the game. Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, bridges the gap between the TV series and movie, focusing on the 3-year period unseen in the film. The game presents 4 scenarios, fully exploring events alluded to in the movie, like the Nadesico crew's lives post-series. New characters, including the protagonist and Rabio, enhance the experience. Scenario 1, The Forgotten Proof of Love, whereabouts of Akito's ramen stand, follows Akito working at a ramen stand. Yurika seeks refuge with the Misumaru family, and the protagonist gets involved. The story showcases Akito, Yurika, and Ruri's peaceful lives, punctuated by chaos. Written by staff from the original series and movie, the game leads towards the movie's plot, with the protagonist's mystery central. Key contributors include Hasegawa Noboru and Koshikawa Kazuyuki. This scenario specifically explores the protagonist's history and their connection to the Nadesico B, building anticipation for the movie. The appearance of Itsuki is hinted at as crucial for solving the protagonist's mysterious background. This page details new scenarios and features of Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. Scenario 2 involves a Martian ruins investigation, Dyna mysteries, and a conspiracy. Scenario 3
features the newly built Nadesico B, with Ruri as captain, facing Jovian attacks. Scenario 4 focuses on Megumi's involvement with a new idol group, the Humai Girls.
The virtual room feature allows for outfit changes, adding visual variety. Itsuki's clue hints at Itsuki's importance and possible multiple identities. A new character, Rabio Patoretto, joins as Ryoko's apprentice on the Nadesico B. The game emphasizes character interactions, mysteries, and bridges the narrative of the anime and movie. This page features a full-power special feature for Pia 2, highlighting its theme of the last year of high school life. This simulation adventure title from NEC Interchannel was scheduled for release on October 8, priced at 7,200 yen. The game is designed for 18-plus players, comes on 2 CRAD-ROMs, and supports the expansion RAM cartridge. The core premise involves experiencing romance by meeting girls while working a summer part-time job at a family restaurant. The feature promises to explore the game's appeal over 8 pages. The page includes a character image, possibly Sane, with dialogue, and main artwork depicting 2 characters in swimsuits enjoying a summer scene, reinforcing the game's setting. This page continues the deep dive into Pia 2, focusing on significant summer events and the bonus content included with the game. It highlights key moments, like the swimsuit event during the Obon holiday mentioned previously, which are crucial for developing relationships with the heroines. The feature then shifts to the daily life of working the part-time job at the Pia restaurant. It showcases various scenarios the protagonist encounters, including dealing with difficult customers, handling unexpected situations involving colleagues like Kaoru and Mina, and being cared for by the manager, Ryuko. These interactions provide insight into the game's narrative and the challenges faced during the job. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to the luxurious bonus included on the second disc of the 2-disc set. This bonus disc features an album mode showcasing high-resolution CG images from the game, an original art collection displaying the game's line art, and a music mode allowing players to listen to the game's background music and character themes. This second disc provides substantial extra content beyond the main game experience. The text summarizes the first day of work in Welcome to Pia 2. The protagonist begins his part-time job, encountering the manager, Ryuko, and fellow staff like Hayame, Kaoru, and Mina. While most interactions are positive, Azusa makes a poor first impression. The day involves learning basic job duties like taking orders. The page also explores the manager's youthful appearance and sets the stage for meeting new characters outside the restaurant. Tsukasa, a waitress from another store, arrives to help, bringing a cheerful energy that endears her to the protagonist. The introduction of a cosplaying girl teases further character interactions and relationship development, hinting at the potential for multiple story paths. This page details the progression through the early stages of Welcome to Pia 2. It covers the training period from July 29th to 31st, which involves the challenging task of warehouse organization. The manager, Eishoe, is shown teasing the protagonist about being tired from the work. Moving into August, the page highlights an encounter with Azusa on the commute to work on August 1st, noting the awkwardness given their previous brief interaction. It discusses the choice of whether to walk the same path as her and Azusa's internal thoughts about preferring a slow walk. A key game mechanic is introduced, talking to characters after work to increase affection levels. This section shows the protagonist interacting with Hayame post-shift and emphasizes targeting specific heroines. The page also introduces the Yamana family, neighbors of the Pia restaurant. Harue Yamana, a young mother, is met after the protagonist helps her lost daughter, Kaoru. Kaoru quickly becomes fond of the protagonist, calling him Ani-chan. Scenes depict meeting Haru and Kaoru at the park, being invited to their home for a meal, which helps the protagonist's condition, and a slightly awkward but endearing scene of bathing with Kaoru after she gets dirty playing. These events showcase key character introductions and relationship-building opportunities within the game. This page shifts the focus in Welcome to Pia 2 to the eagerly anticipated summer festival event, highlighting it as a crucial part of the protagonist's final high school summer. The festival, held at a nearby shrine, offers a unique opportunity to see the heroines in their stunning yukata attire. This isn't just for show. Interacting with the girls here can lead to dates and is key to boosting their affection levels. The page features several screenshots from the festival. We see Ryuko in her yukata, commenting on how it feels natural. There's a humorous scene showing the Hinomori sisters, Azusa and Mina, attempting to scoop goldfish, with Azusa failing
and Mina struggling to keep up with the speedy fish. The page also introduces a new character, Mikiko Shinohara, a passionate young woman aiming to become a manga artist. We see her in an encounter with an editor, and then involving the protagonist in her work, seemingly demanding he read her manuscript. This begins an unusual relationship, where the protagonist ends up helping her, despite their sudden and unfamiliar meeting, setting the stage for exploring her background and motivations. This page delves further into the summer experiences within Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. It continues coverage of the vibrant summer festival, featuring characters like Azusa commenting on her traditional attire and highlighting a chance meeting with Haru and her daughter, emphasizing the spontaneous interactions the player can encounter. The page also previews the Summer Comic-Con event, detailing it as a major gathering for self-published works where characters like Mikiko will be present, pursuing her aspirations as a manga artist. The event is noted as a place to see cosplayers and other key figures, hinting at potential plot points. A large section is dedicated to Sanae, exploring her life outside the restaurant. It details her work at Pia Carrot and her personal motivations related to her physical health and confidence, linked back to her time as a student. Screenshots show her in her work uniform. The page also reveals her past as an active high school basketball player, with images depicting her in her school uniform and basketball gear. The text touches on her dedication to the sport and her team's journey. Additional small panels tease other characters involved in cosplay, suggesting this is another element players will encounter. This page continues the coverage of summer events in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, focusing on the staff training trip. This event, framed more as a leisure getaway, takes the team to Kinugawa for 3 days in late August, with the store covering all expenses. A major point of interest is the open-air bath near the hotel. Despite some hopeful speculation, it's confirmed to be gender-separated. Upon arrival, players have free time to interact with the heroines, creating opportunities for intimate moments. Dialogue from characters like Tsukasa and Akeoi hints at nearby facilities and afternoon plans, while Misaki looks forward to a barbecue. The evening hot spring experience is highlighted, but the text also introduces a tempting, albeit risky, peeking event, seemingly encouraged by the manager, Yusuke. He suggests letting loose outside of work, while acknowledging the risk of getting caught. The page warns that getting caught has severe consequences, advising moderation for anyone considering this devilish temptation. Images show the characters departing, discussing plans, and finally enjoying the hot springs, hinting at the potential encounters during the trip. This section focuses on exciting, sexy shot from Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. It showcases deliberately suggestive scenes with the message window hidden for full appreciation. The scenes include Ryuko in revealing clothing needing help, Misukiko fresh from a shower, and characters in a bath with suggestive actions. The article then previews the next issue, Volume 28, releasing September 25th. It will feature heroine strategy trends and countermeasures for the game, offering a guide to the game system and heroine capture. This includes helpful information for after the game's launch. The cover art will feature a new illustration by Takashi Hashimoto, and the preview promises valuable information even for new players. This page provides a special report on No Chol 3 for the SEGA Saturn, highlighting the game's significant shift from its PlayStation predecessor. Originally known for its focus on conversation, the Saturn version evolves into a more dynamic adventure game. The article explains that while communication with the female characters remains central, new adventure elements like rescuing hostages have been added, deepening the gameplay experience. Despite the genre expansion, the importance of the unique conversation system is emphasized, suggesting it's key to understanding the game fully. The report includes multiple screenshots showcasing the game's visuals, including the conversation interface, and scenes depicting characters in different situations, such as being tied up. A key feature is an interview with Takeshi Kamei, the producer of the No Carol series, where he discusses the concept evolution leading to No Carol 3, and how it's not just a simple port but a fresh challenge for the series. The report notes the game is 53% complete at the time of publication. No Chol 3, a SEGA Saturn exclusive, begins with the player receiving an ASOS call from Yukari, a girl trapped in a terrorist-occupied high school, Aqua Tower. Yukari, a genius hacker, is unable to escape and tasks the player with remotely hacking the school. Students are afflicted by a mysterious illness, adding to the urgency. The game features screenshots of the characters, terrorists, and the school's interior. Development notes emphasize the Saturn's capabilities, allowing for detailed character animation and extensive dialogue. The returning video phone system enhances realistic conversations. Neutral 3, while sharing a world with the PlayStation's Neutral, evolves the series into an adventure game, emphasizing the player's evolving relationship with the characters, and hints at a deeper plot involving terrorist activity and the Rinkai liner. The next page explains how the rescue operation in Neutral 3 relies on utilizing the network, focusing on the game's hacking mechanics. The player uses small programs known as nanokun to infiltrate the Aqua Tower network. Different types of nanokun are available, such as the prudent type, attack type, and cautious type. Hacking involves selecting nodes and deploying the appropriate nanokun, considering their compatibility and level relative to the node's defenses. The process is divided into 2 steps. First, removing the node's protection, and then downloading the necessary data. Screenshots display the hacking interface, showing a network of nodes and connections. Further down, the page discusses the game's overall setting and the evolution of its dialogue system. It highlights a shift towards a more hard or serious tone, emphasizing the terrorist situation rather than leaning heavily into a traditional dating sim image. A key change in the dialogue system is noted. Unlike previous titles where dialogue options could be stockpiled and used at leisure, Neutral 3 implements a time-sensitive system. Selecting one conversation option immediately discards others, a design choice intended to create a sense of urgency and better reflect the tense context of communicating during a hostage crisis. There is also a brief observation that the character artwork in the game's movie scenes appears subtly different. Neutral 3 tasks players with rescuing hostages within the sprawling EGA high school using the Omoidakun camera. Players must remotely navigate the school's vastness, checking various locations like classrooms and the gymnasium. The game emphasizes dynamic events, requiring constant monitoring and revisiting areas as the situation evolves. Identifying individuals relies on an image matching system, comparing camera feeds with data acquired via the support OS Arisa and the character Yuka, possibly supplemented by hacking. Director Kamei highlights Arisa's timely communications, reflecting the game's real-time nature. The game continues even when inactive, with news and calls adding to the intensity. A small news section also mentions a live concert by Yuka's voice actress, Mayumi Izuka. This page focuses on Taigeki Graph in Sakura Wars, a fan disc for the beloved Sakura Wars series released in December 1998 for the SEGA Saturn. This is a fantastic 2-disc set packed with content for fans. The main draw is a collection of minigames featuring the charming characters of the Flower Division. The first disc centers around a narrative where players must clear minigames to increase the audience numbers for a special performance called Sleeping Beauty in the Forest. Success in these games leads to higher scores and more spectators. The second disc is a treasure trove for fans, promising voice actor interviews and other Sakura Wars-related information, potentially even including secret setting data. The page highlights 2 specific minigames: Koi Koi Taisen 2 Tentative, a sequel to the popular Hanafuda game from the original Sakura Wars, which is powered up for this release, and Taikoku Gunjin Shogi Tentative, a Sakura Wars-themed version of military shogi. Screenshots show chibi versions of characters like Sakura and Kana, as well as gameplay interfaces for the card and board games. The release price is listed as 4,800 yen. It looks like a must-have for any Sakura Wars enthusiast looking for fun interactions and extra content beyond the main adventures. This page continues our look at the fantastic Taigeki Graph in Sakura Wars fan disc, focusing on more of the fun minigames included. First up is Maria's Lighting Game, a challenge where you control stage lights to get the shining part positioned correctly. It's not straightforward though, as mischievous Kuroko stagehands will try to hinder your efforts by moving lights or adding reflective mirror balls. You'll need precision and quick reflexes to overcome the obstacles Maria is overseeing. Next we see Lainey's Puzzle Game, a jigsaw puzzle featuring a scene from the Sleeping Beauty in the Forest special performance mentioned previously. You'll need to fit the scattered pieces together against the clock. The game seems to involve controlling Lainey to manipulate the pieces, and highlights the castle prop from the play. Finally, there's Oriheim's Dance Lesson. This appears to be a rhythm mini-game where you provide piano accompaniment for Oriheim's dance practice by pressing buttons according to a gauge. Mastering the timing is key, as failing displeases Oriheim, while success leads to a triumphant pose. The page features charming chibi illustrations of Maria, Lenny, and Oriheim, alongside screenshots of the respective minigames, giving a clear idea of the varied gameplay experiences offered in this fan disc. It looks like a great collection of interactive content for fans of the series.
This page celebrates the return of the irregular publication, the Taigeki Journal, now in its 4th issue, revived by popular demand. This special edition focuses entirely on fan illustrations. First up is the Minority Character feature, showcasing wonderful fan art of less popular characters from the Sakura Wars series. Illustrations of characters like Kaede Fujieda and Ichiro Ogami are highlighted, along with others such as Emballer, Doraemon, and Shinjitsu. The volume of submissions for a character is seen as a barometer of their popularity. The page also announces the long-awaited results of the Red Company Award and the Kaneko Award, given by the game's creators, Red Company and Oji Hiroi, referred to here as Kaneko-san. They personally selected winning fan postcards submitted to the journal. The Red Company Award features illustrations with multiple characters, while the Kaneko Award highlights specific fan art submissions, including one of Maria Tachibana and another featuring a bear. There are photos of the staff, including Oji Hiroi, presenting the awards. It's clear the creators appreciate the passion of the fan base. This page is dedicated to fan submissions for the Taigeki Journal, focusing on illustrations for the Sakura Wars series. The Imperial Theater All-Stars section showcases fan art, featuring various beloved characters from the Imperial Combat Review and related figures. It includes illustrations of Orihime Soletta, Sumire Kanzaki, Kana Kirishima, Kuran Lee, and Iris, highlighting the breadth of submissions received for the journal. The Summer Memories section presents seasonal fan art, celebrating summer with vibrant illustrations. This part features characters enjoying the warmer months, including Kana Kirishima. Multiple depictions of Reni Ichiho in swimsuits, Maria Tachibana, and Orihime Soletta in a yukata. The page also announces the upcoming release of the Sakura Wars 2 Official Setting Material Collection Guidebook from SoftBank, promising detailed production materials and extras. Finally, there's a call for reader submissions, inviting fans to send in their own illustrations, writings, or other creative works for future issues of the Taigeki Journal. This page introduces the dating simulation game, Virtual Call S. The main image prominently features 2 female characters with colorful hair, indicative of the game's anime art style. The core concept involves building relationships with girls in a digital space through conversations and dates, aiming for romance. A key mechanic highlighted is the VHG, or virtual headgear, which acts as a video phone, allowing players to see the girl they are talking to, not just hear their voice. The game also incorporates experiencing sensations through the 5 senses, creating an immersive dream system. Players can access girls through a membership access point, supporting calls with up to 4 people, or directly call a girl's home if they obtain her number. Screenshots showcase elements of the game, including the protagonist's room, the VHG device, and the in-game computer. The computer is used for essential functions like saving and loading, checking compatibility, and finding date spots, adding a strategic layer to interactions. There's also a section teasing new characters and providing a sneak peek at the game's progress, indicating it was nearing completion at the time of publication. The report indicates an 85% completion status. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Virtual Call S, explaining how players can build relationships with the girls. It starts by describing the initial encounter with a character named Yu Arizumi Hikaru in Shibuya, obtaining her phone number and a virtual call access card. The importance of making calls is emphasized, showcasing the virtual headgear (VHG) screen interface, which acts as the game's virtual phone system. Players can dial into the virtual call system, which allows access to a pool of girls. A crucial feature highlighted here is the lock-on system, which lets players focus their conversation on a specific girl within a multi-person call. The process involves meeting an introductory character named Wendy, choosing a virtual room, engaging in group conversations, using the lock-on feature to concentrate on the target girl, and ideally achieving a 2-shot scenario where the conversation becomes more intimate. Beyond the virtual system, the game also allows players to call girls directly at their homes once their personal phone numbers are obtained, which can lead to arranging dates. Finally, the page hints at a hidden shooting minigame available within Virtual Call S, adding an extra layer beyond the dating simulation core. This page provides a detailed look at the SEGA Saturn release of Suikoden. It highlights the game's imminent launch on September 17th for 3,800 yen,
describing it as a single-player RPG recommended for all ages. The article emphasizes the quality of this port, noting enhancements like a new opening animation and improved graphics, making it a highly anticipated version. Suikoden is celebrated for its vast story, inspired by the Chinese novel Water Margin, featuring 108 unique heroes. The page covers the depth of its systems, from recruiting and developing characters to the integral rune system. It explains how the game's massive world and character interactions create a captivating experience. A short section also details the history of the Scarlet Moon Empire, focusing on the oppressive rule and the succession war that brought Barbarossa Rugner to power, painting a picture of the historical backdrop against which the player's journey unfolds. The page is illustrated with screenshots showing battles, character interactions, and key events. This page delves into the core battle system of Suikoden and the backstory leading to the formation of the Liberation Army. It highlights that battle involves positioning characters in a front or back row, impacting their attack range. Weapons have distinct ranges: short, close, middle, and long, which is crucial for effective combat. The page also touches upon cooperative attacks between characters and weapon-level UPS at the blacksmith. The narrative section explains the oppressive rule of the Scarlet Moon Empire under Emperor Barbarossa Rugner, detailing the corruption and hardship faced by the people. This dark era gives rise to the Liberation Army, founded by Odessa Silverberg, with the goal of rescuing people from the tyrannical regime. The protagonist joins this cause after being framed by the Empire. Finally, a character relationship chart is presented, illustrating the connections between key figures. It shows the Emperor and his generals, the protagonist and his close friends and allies like Gremio and Meted, and members of the Liberation Army, highlighting relationships like master/servant, parent/child, friends, and rivals, providing context for the personal stakes in the conflict. This page provides an in-depth look at key systems in Suikoden and guides players through the initial stages of the game. It explains the crucial rune system, which allows characters to gain special powers, often magic or unique attacks, by housing runes obtained from exploration or shops. The page details the process from acquiring a rune seal to having a rune master imprinted on a character, unlocking new abilities as they grow. The rune system is broken down into 3 types: magic runes, used for elemental attacks or healing with limited uses; special attack runes, offering powerful attacks potentially unique to characters with unlimited uses; and support runes, providing passive benefits like stat boosts or status effect prevention, aiding movement or combat. Beyond the systems, the page includes a guide for the early game progression, starting with the protagonist's escape from Gregminster. It highlights crucial early events, like meeting Victor, and eventually joining forces with the Liberation Army leader, Odessa Silverberg, after helping villagers. A clear flowchart visualizes the path through key locations, like Magician's Island, Rockland, MT, Seifu, and Lenin Camp, offering a roadmap for players navigating the game's opening chapters. Screenshots illustrate the rune housing process, battle scenes, and the status screen, supporting the explanations. This guide is essential for understanding how to leverage character abilities and progress through the critical early narrative beats. This section of the Suikoden guide details the core gameplay loop centered around recruiting the 108 Stars of Destiny and building up to Karin Castle. As you recruit more characters, the castle expands, offering new facilities and minigames. Viki provides convenient teleportation. You'll manage your party and even raise rescued kittens. Beyond standard RPG battles, the game features war battles, strategic encounters influenced by your recruited army size, using a rock-paper-scissors style of commands. Duels are tense one-on-one battles, requiring you to anticipate your opponent's attacks. The page also covers events after Odessa's death, focusing on securing Taturian Castle and recruiting key strategists like Matiu. It lists early companions and how to recruit them, often found near your new base or in previously explored areas. This page introduces Digimon Digital Monster Vs. Digimon Tamers, a unique raising simulation game for the Saturn, where players cultivate popular Digimon within a simulated network to become the ultimate tamer. The focus here is on revealing the battle arena, the Colosseum. The game plunges players into a digital world where digital monsters are born from the network. You'll raise your Digimon partners and battle against others,
aiming for the top. The game confirms the appearance of over 50 Digimons from the first 4 versions of the digital pet line. You can acquire specific Digi-Eggs in the shop to raise the Digimon you desire from these different versions. Screenshots showcase the game's interface, including the battle screen, with action commands and Digimon like Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. There are also views of party management, world exploration, and various menus. The game also features network elements allowing players to access helpful information. A developer note highlights the value offered by the game's Digimon content.
This page delves into the various battle stages available in Digimon Digital Monsterverse. Beyond the Colosseum arena mentioned previously, there are 4 unique environments: water, sky, cave, and grass. Each stage is home to a specific type of Digimon, suited to that terrain, and can only be challenged on a particular day of the week. The water stage, available on Wednesdays, features aquatic Digimon like Betamon, Seadraemon, and Wasamon. Mondays open the sky stage, populated by flying types such as Birdraemon, Airdramon, and Unimon, where agility is key. On Saturdays, you can explore the cave stage, home to creatures like Numamon, Vegemon, and Sukamon, emphasizing raw power. Thursdays offer the grass stage, where ground dwellers like Patamon, Greymon, Mojiamon, and Orgamon await, known for their high attack power. Successfully defeating all 5 Digimons in a stage earns you a Digimon medal, proving your mastery of that environment. The arena, available anytime, gathers all types of Digimon and is where the strongest opponents reside. The game emphasizes raising your Digimon carefully and training them to be strong enough to overcome the challenges presented in these diverse battlefields and collect all the medals. This page is dedicated to the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Densha de Go! X, a train driving simulation game set for release in October. It's highlighted as more than just a simple port of the arcade game, featuring unique content for the Saturn, most notably an original snow mode mentioned as a special challenge. The article introduces the game's core mechanics, showing screenshots with realistic use elements, like speedometers and timers. It emphasizes the detailed recreation of routes and trains, including passing trains like the Narita Express on the Yamanote line. Specific routes featured include the Sanin Main Line, from Kamioka to Kyoto, recommended for beginners to learn the basics of train operation, and the Keihin Tohoku line. The Sanin line section specifically showcases driving the classic Kiha 58 series diesel train through scenic areas. Gameplay challenges like adhering to speed limits, observing signals, and sounding the whistle at designated points, such as entering tunnels, are demonstrated through screenshots and text. The game offers both a challenging experience aiming for perfect timing and a relaxed free mode to enjoy the routes at your own pace. This looks like a solid simulation for train enthusiasts on the Saturn. This page dives deeper into the Saturn-exclusive features of Densha de Go! X, showcasing what makes this version unique beyond the arcade port. It heavily features the snow mode, which was briefly mentioned previously. This mode, available on the Mountain Line and Tokaido Main Line, significantly increases difficulty due to the reduced effectiveness of brakes in snowy conditions, making it a challenge for experienced players aiming for mastery. For those new to the game or wanting a more relaxed experience, the free running mode is introduced. This mode removes the pressure of time limits, setting the clock to a generous 999 seconds that doesn't count down, allowing players to leisurely practice routes or simply enjoy the scenery. It even allows the extra setting, where snow is possible, for practicing snowy conditions without time constraints. The page also continues exploring specific routes, detailing the Sanin mainline section from Tanbaguchi into the terminal at Kyoto. It highlights the challenges of this segment, noting various events and signals, particularly the precise stopping required upon reaching Kyoto Station, although it humorously mentions intentionally overshooting can also clear the segment. Overall, this page demonstrates that Densha de Go! X on the Saturn offers varied gameplay modes, catering to both hardcore simulation fans and those seeking a more casual train driving experience. This page introduces Roommate W, a real-time communication simulation game for the SEGA Saturn developed by Datum Polystar. This entry is a new chapter in the series, moving beyond previous installments with 2 new girls joining the protagonist's life. The core of the game is experiencing daily life and interacting with 2 female roommates, Kaori Sato, a nursing student, and Yuko Yamaguchi, a high school student attending the same school as the protagonist. Gameplay involves conversation, going out, and building relationships, with a focus on a potential triangular relationship dynamic. The game utilizes the Saturn's internal clock for its real-time element, leading to subtle changes in the environment and the girls' moods and feelings. The page features sections detailing the initial meeting with the girls, including a sudden visit, and the arrival of the second roommate, Yuko. Screenshots show in-game dialogue and character portraits.
There's also a section provocatively titled, Chest Valley Thump, highlighting a moment involving Kaori. Key game data is provided, noting the price, 6,800 yen, genre, real-time communication software, recommendation for all ages, and that it is single-player only. The game was slated for release that autumn. It's a classic example of the relationship simulation genre that was popular on the Saturn, focusing on character interaction and unfolding drama based on player choices and real-time progression. This page continues the introduction to the real-time communication simulation game, Roommate Woo, focusing on the locations that serve as the game's stage. It presents a map of the town where the three main characters live, highlighting key points of interest. The map shows 5 significant locations: the tree-lined street, ideal for dates and walks; the park, offering a place for relaxation; the shopping street, featuring various stores for daily needs and event triggers; La Mer, a stylish tea room known for date events; and the protagonist's house, which serves as the main setting. Each location is accompanied by a brief description of its significance and potential events that can occur there, often illustrated with a small screenshot or character image. The protagonist's house is detailed, showing the floor plan of both the first and second floors. The first floor contains the main living areas, while the second floor has the bedrooms, including the room borrowed by the two girls. The protagonist's car, a yellow Volkswagen Type 1, is also pictured, noting its use for driving date events. Additionally, the page provides glimpses into Kaori's and Yuko's individual rooms, reflecting their personalities and serving as locations for specific character interactions and events. This page introduces the game Etude Prologue, a simulation game centered around 2 main characters nearing high school graduation. The prominent artwork features the male and female protagonists, capturing their expressive faces. The large title, Etude Prologue, is displayed over a musical staff, hinting at the game's theme or atmosphere. The text describes the game as one where you interact with people around the 2 main characters, refine your own abilities, and discover your future. All characters in the game, including the protagonists, have their own stories, worries, and wishes. The game is divided into periods. The last week of January is a information gathering period, where you explore the school to find hints about relationships and hidden thoughts. Starting in February, the school becomes open, and the game enters the action period. During the action period, you walk around the town of Manamiashus, the game's setting, meet people, and uncover various stories. Your actions determine the stories you encounter. Screenshots show gameplay scenes, including a view of a supermarket where the characters might shop or encounter events, and a classroom interior, suggesting school life plays a significant role. Another screenshot shows a character standing in a school hallway, likely during the information gathering phase. The interface includes icons for movement, checking character parameters, accessing the system handbook, and saving/loading. The game emphasizes building relationships and understanding others to share in their stories. Etude Prologue features the male protagonist, Kimitsukasa Tatsuya, and introduces a Memories I Want to Cherish gallery for revisiting unlocked content, and an Omake mode, likely for viewing these memories. Players develop key abilities: physical strength, intelligence, spirit, mental strength, and luck, through part-time jobs and minigames, influencing their future paths. Progress carries over between playthroughs. This enhanced port of a previous PC title, another Etude, boasts improved graphics, voices, and scenarios, expanding into trading cards and a music CD. The game is currently 65% complete and scheduled for a late November release, focusing on personal growth, relationships, and self-discovery, with an all-ages recommendation. This page showcases the love simulation game Find Love 2 Rhapsody, highlighting its charming summer theme, with characters in yukata enjoying fireworks. The game features dynamic backgrounds that change depending on the time of day, transitioning from bright daytime scenes to romantic sunsets and vibrant nights, shown through screenshots of a beach or pier location. It introduces a new conversation system, where player interaction with the girls relies on dialogue choices and attitude. Developed by Daiki, this title is rated for ages 18 and over, is stated to be 90% complete, and was scheduled for a November 5th release. Character illustrations in swimsuits also suggest a significant portion of the game takes place in summer settings like the beach. This page continues exploring the gameplay of the love simulation title, Find Love 2 Rhapsody, focusing on how the player interacts with the girls during downtime in their room. A key feature highlighted is the telephone system, allowing players to engage in video calls with the girls. This lets you see their expressions, making conversations feel more natural and important for building relationships or even arranging dates. The game also includes activities like practicing guitar, presented as a rhythm game-like minigame. Players must follow on-screen prompts to the beat, with various practice songs available inspired by classic rock bands. Mastering this skill helps the protagonist pursue his dream of becoming a musician. For the more mature audience, the page discreetly hints at the inclusion of seifa scenes, featuring suggestive line art illustrations of characters like Kyoko and Nagisa, and text, questioning how much explicit content is shown, adding an element of anticipation. Crucially, the game emphasizes the importance of selecting the right attitude when interacting with the girls, whether initiating a conversation or responding to them. Choices range from standard options like confession or ignore, to more nuanced attitudes like affectatious or wild. As demonstrated by screenshots showing different character reactions, your chosen attitude significantly impacts how the girls respond, making careful considerations essential for successful relationship building. This intricate conversation system adds depth to the dating simulation experience. This page introduces the love simulation game Hatsukoi Monogatari, First Love Story, highlighting its release on the SEGA Saturn. This isn't just a port, it's a significant renewal, boasting new character designs by the renowned Adachi Shiko, known for their work on Digital Ange. The core concept revolves around experiencing and achieving your first love, with heroines across 3 distinct eras. The game puts you in the shoes of a protagonist, with only 1 month before moving away, setting a clear objective to find love within that time frame. Gameplay involves building relationships through various interactions, like talking and observing characters, with a system that rates your progress. Screenshots show typical visual novel-style scenes with character sprites and dialogue windows, as well as a status screen displaying player attributes like charm and love power. The game also introduces key characters. Liliana, an archangel, serves as your guide on this romantic journey, a change from previous versions. One of the potential love interests featured is Risa Shiroshima, representing a first love from the elementary school era, depicted with character art and an in-game screenshot. There's also a promotion offering a commemorative poster to lucky players. The page emphasizes the game's aim to capture the sweet and sometimes painful feelings associated with first love. The next page delves deeper into Hatsukoi Monogatari's systems and introduces more heroines. It highlights the game's 27 variations of situation, transformation, character system, explaining how you can experience a first love with 3 heroines across elementary, middle, and high school eras, within 3 different relationship contexts: classmates, transfer student, or childhood friend. This creates a unique profile and experience for each playthrough. Success within the game's 1-month time limit relies on managing your daily schedule, dedicating time to activities like studying and exercise. The page details typical school day activities, which include interacting with heroines, and evening activities at home, emphasizing the critical role of phone calls for building relationships. 2 more key heroines are introduced. Mizuki Rui, the middle school first love partner, described as a half-Japanese, half-foreigner with a slight frailty, voiced by Yoshida Yurika. The high school first love partner is Katagiri Tomomi, portrayed as a refined, accomplished student with a talent for the flute, voiced by Inoue Kikuko. The game also features emotional events, triggered by meeting specific conditions, which significantly impact the heroine's affection levels. These dramatic moments, shown through special event graphics, can be revisited later. The page showcases examples of these events, including one where Tomomi faces a difficult situation, and another depicting Rui in a theatrical performance. The page concludes with a dramatic image questioning reality, suggesting the game may include dream sequences or unexpected moments. This page is all about the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Sakura Tsushin Remaking Memories. This adventure game is a direct adaptation of the popular manga by Yujin, focusing on the first 2 volumes of the series, while adding original scenarios for the game. As an expert gamer who has delved into many SEGA Saturn visual novels, I can tell you this one tackles the classic theme of a student balancing romance and the intense pressure of college entrance exams. The game features command selection gameplay with branching paths that lead to 7 distinct endings,
promising replayability and slightly different developments compared to the original manga, which is a nice touch for fans. It's explicitly noted as being for players aged 18 and over, containing some ecchi content, fitting for a Eugen adaptation. You play as Tatuma, who moves to Tokyo for cram school and ends up living with his cousin Rei. The page introduces these two key characters, along with several others you'll encounter, such as Misako from the boarding house, the suspicious Hiroshi from cram school, Kagome, the complicated sister of a senior student, and Tatsuhiko, a persistent friend trying to recruit to Weima for baseball. Screenshots showcase some of the character art and event scenes you'll experience in the game. This looks like a faithful adaptation bringing the manga's characters and premise to life on the Saturn. This page continues our look at Sakuratsushin Remaking Memories on Sega Saturn, delving deeper into its structure and features. It starts by describing the game's opening scene, a date at an amusement park with Raint, which immediately triggers a series of flashbacks. This framing device allows the story to unfold through Taluma's memories while he's riding a train, revisiting key moments from his past, leading up to the present. The game isn't just a visual novel. It incorporates anime scenes at important junctures, featuring voice acting to bring the characters to life. While the main story largely follows the original manga, the game introduces branching paths. Your choices, even in familiar settings, can lead to entirely different encounters and developments involving other characters, offering varied experiences beyond the central relationship with Reinai. Adding to the gameplay variety, Remaking Memories includes minigames. Screenshots show what looks like a side-scrolling action sequence called Mai-chan Crisis, and a snowboarding game titled Snowboard to Go, breaking up the traditional visual novel gameplay with interactive segments. Finally, the page highlights some special offers for early buyers and fans. The first print run includes a CD single featuring the game's opening and ending themes, sung by the heroine's voice actress. There's also a chance to win the first 2 volumes of the Sakuratsushin OVA series through a lottery. It seems like a solid package for fans of the original work. This page dives into Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter on the Sega Saturn. It highlights the highly anticipated fighting game that brings together the worlds of Marvel Comics and Capcom's Street Fighter series for explosive tag team battles. The game is published by Capcom and was set for a late October release. A key piece of information is the necessity of the 4 MB expansion RAM cartridge, which was sold separately or bundled with the game, to handle the fast-paced action and detailed sprites. A big draw for fans is the confirmation that many hidden characters from the arcade version made it into this Saturn port. This includes fan favorites like the suntan Sakura and powerful figures such as Mephisto and potentially a cybernetically enhanced Zangief. The page even teases the possibility of Saturn-exclusive hidden characters. Screenshots showcase various characters in action, including iconic heroes like Ryu, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Cyclops, Captain America, and villains such as Mechgusiki and Omega Red. The text emphasizes the dream matchups and the powered-up system, with 2-on-2 tag battles being a major feature, promising intense fights. There's a note about the manufacturer's excitement for the variable combos and the returning heat-up mechanic from the previous game. The page also shows glimpses of character-specific moments and interactions. The Sega Saturn is getting a dose of retro gaming action with several new releases. Capcom Generation Volume 3, launching October 15th for 5,800 yen, features 4 classic Capcom arcade titles: Vulgus, Sansan, Pirate Ship Higemaru, and Savage Bees. This compilation also includes a gallery mode. Also coming in late October is Ving's Mizubaku Daibuken, a comical action game where players control a hippo using water bombs, priced at 3,800 yen. Finally, Ultron's Honkaku Hanafuda, a traditional Japanese card game, is releasing in October for 5,800 yen. It offers various game modes, including Koi Koi, a tutorial, versus play, and a story mode. This page showcases several upcoming and recently released Sega Saturn titles covering a range of genres. First up is Sankyo Fever Jikyu Simulation S Volume 3, a pachinko simulation game allowing players to experience popular Sankyo machines like Fever Powerful 2 Eyes, with detailed settings and a skip mode for quick research. It's rated for all ages and includes a list of several machines. Next, for a more mature audience, is the Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Limited Edition, a 5th anniversary package featuring the Mahjong series, and a new adventure scenario set in a school. The adventure introduces the new character Maya, and sees fan favorite Risan appearing as a teacher. This title is recommended for players 18 and older, and promises rich character expressions and detailed field screens. For simulation and anime fans, Backgainer. Reviving Heroes Flight Chapter arrives as the second part of a serious story-driven simulation game. Spread across 2 discs, it features high-quality anime movie cutscenes reminiscent of OVAs and allows players to carry over data from the previous game, continuing the unfolding mysteries of Gainer. It's rated for all ages. Finally, the vertical shooter Steam Hearts makes its way to the Saturn, reviving the popular PC Engine title. While featuring a serious story, the game is known for unlocking slightly erotic graphics upon clearing stages. The Saturn version boasts significantly renewed graphics and impressive boss encounters, offering a mix of intense shooting action and fan service. Recommended for players 18 and older. This page delves into the world of the tactical RPG Black/Matrix, showcasing its official guidebook. The striking artwork features several key characters from the game, dominated by a central female figure in a red and black outfit bound by chains, and a winged male character below her, along with other characters in the background, all in a dark, dramatic anime style that sets the tone for the series. The guidebook is described as a comprehensive resource, fully covering the secrets and appeal of Black/Matrix. It promises detailed explanations of the game system, from basic mechanics to advanced tactical approaches. Players can expect in-depth guides for navigating maps across all branching story paths, complete with detailed data on enemy characters. The guide also includes extensive data on weapons, covering their awakening parameters and potential hidden effects. Adding to its value, the book contains a special interview with the original creator Bitogu and illustrator Kyoko Tsuchiya, along with an art collection featuring character designs and illustrations. This guide appears to be essential for any serious Black/Matrix player looking to master the game and appreciate its intricate details. It is being published by SoftBank Corporation. This page provides a strategic guide for the SEGA Saturn tactical simulation RPG, Backgainer. The focus is on fundamental strategies and dissecting a specific early game puzzle map. The guide emphasizes that gaining experience points is more crucial than accumulating money, suggesting players should aim to defeat as many enemies as possible for maximum experience gains. It also offers advice on efficiently using characters like the protagonist, Lucian, and the Sword Emperor Leom, suggesting Leom with high HP can be used as a decoy. The guide then details the Round 10 map, a tricky puzzle level called the Switching Yard. The objective is to reach a designated point within 25 turns, with all surviving units, while failure results from exceeding the turn limit, or Lucian's death. The map's unique feature is its reliance on switches that move platforms. Players must carefully consider their movements. A detailed breakdown of which switches control which platforms is provided. Tips include waiting outside the range of gun-type enemies, and a specific tactic for clearing the map quickly by transporting characters on Platform C. The page includes an illustration of the character's Sword Emperor Leom and screenshots showing the game's tactical view and the Round 10 map layout. This page continues the strategy guide for Backgainer, shifting focus to the mid-game maps spanning rounds 15 through 24. A key takeaway highlighted immediately is the vital importance of the character Smol during this phase. With other healing characters absent in these later rounds, Smol becomes the sole healer, making careful party composition essential for success. The guide details specific map strategies. Round 16, known as Leom Palace, features a complex 2-layer design accessed via elevators. The recommended tactic involves splitting your forces. One squad proceeds via the stairs to engage enemies, while another uses the elevator to clear that area first, then supports the stair team. Round 15, the company's secret hideout, presents a basin-like terrain. The strategy here is to gain high ground and ambush approaching enemies, though beware of specific gun-type foes. Round 17, the control room, is a more straightforward, flat map. The advice for this level is simple. Engage the enemy directly, but be cautious as the Sword Emperor enemy type is particularly strong. The page includes details on victory and defeat conditions for each map, visual guides showing starting positions for allies and enemies, and screenshots depicting the map layouts and battle scenes. The table briefly shows the availability of different characters across these rounds, underscoring Smol's consistent presence. The Blazing Heroes guide continues, offering strategies for rounds 18 to 21. Round 18, Desert GG Entrance, stresses quick central positioning to counter snipers, focusing initial attacks on the gun-type enemy. Round 19, GG Tower Interior, involves a 3-layered map where a single elevator accesses floors. players should group forces to surround and eliminate initial elevator guards. Round 20, GG Tower Interior, is a complex 4-story map with elevators as the only ascent method and victory tied to reaching designated spots. Careful elevator management is crucial, combating enemies like Carol, Weezer, and a boss, Walter. Round 21, Underground Waterway, is a challenging map with switch-activated bridges and mid-boss enemies like Mizar, Kikazaru, and Iwazaru. The Sword Emperor is suggested for defense against a gun-type Mizar, and a final push is needed to defeat Iwazaru at the gate.
This page continues the strategy guide for Mystic Dragoons, focusing on rounds 22, 23, and 24. Round 22, titled Orange's Escort Mission, at the Heavy Water Treatment Facility, requires Orange to reach a specific destination. The map involves activating a switch to bridge a gap, and the strategy emphasizes dealing with enemies in confined spaces and on inclines, suggesting Orange and Lucian handle lower levels while others push upstairs. Round 23, ROM Rescue, involves a two-sided battle where the goal is to perform an action at a designated point. The guide recommends splitting forces for a pincer attack due to the map's symmetry, advising that stronger units tackle the side with more enemies, especially considering the narrow paths and disadvantageous lower ground. Round 24, Head-on Collision, in the control room, tasks the player with defeating all enemies. The map layout is similar to round 17, with the main fight in the central area. Despite fewer enemies, their increased HP means they shouldn't be underestimated, and players are warned to watch out for enemies attacking from the sides. General tips are also provided, including a brief look at the character barrel, and advice not to worry excessively if characters are defeated, as the game focuses on survivors reaching objectives. This page delves into the fundamentals of combat in Black/Matrix, essential knowledge for anyone aiming to clear all 10 chapters of this simulation RPG. Winning battles is key to advancing the story, so understanding the mechanics is crucial. The guide first covers character status changes, explaining various negative effects enemies can inflict, like petrification, freezes the character. Freeze disables BP and magic. Paralysis restricts movement/actions. Poison reduces HP over time. And sleep renders the character inactive. Each is accompanied by a screenshot showing the visual effect and a brief note on recovery methods, like specific magic spells. Next, it details how attack range differs based on attack type and weapon type. Screenshots display grid patterns illustrating the various ranges for types like vertical swing, punch/blunt, thrust, horizontal swing, spear thrust, whip, and bow. While specific range details vary per weapon, it highlights unique aspects, like the horizontal swing's diagonal attack capability and the spear thrust's piercing effect. Finally, the page touches on parameter up and parameter down status effects, temporary buffs and debuffs caused by magic, increasing or decreasing character parameters by 25%. These are also visually indicated by status icons on the character. Mastering these basic concepts will significantly improve your combat performance. This page presents a guide to the main characters in Black/Matrix, focusing on 7 core members who are central to the story. It advises players to carefully consider their growth based on the provided growth points tips, as these characters often have forced deployments. Each character is introduced with their portrait, the chapter they first appear, their attack and weapon types, and a key strategy for their development. For instance, Abel is an early frontline fighter benefiting from HP recovery magic, while Rebrobus excels in physical combat but needs Intret later for magic defense. Gaius is highlighted for his exceptional dexterity, making him mobile and effective with spears. And Philip is noted as the sole character capable of using bows, emphasizing range attacks for his growth. Marco is a balanced character good, with both physical and magical attacks, who joins later and requires focused training. Yohane, the High Priest, is a dedicated magic expert with high int, best kept off the front lines. Lulubi is described as a reliable all-rounder, initially focusing on recovery magic and later on STR for her horizontal swings. The page also lists the magic spells each character learns at specific levels, along with their BP cost. However, a crucial note at the bottom warns that most characters, with the exceptions of Yohane and Lulubi, must equip a special item called Horn to cast any magic spells from their learned list. This is a vital mechanic players need to be aware of. This page provides a comprehensive guide to the subcharacters available for recruitment in Black/Matrix.
Black/Matrix. It explains that while these characters often require specific conditions to join your party, they bring unique attack types or magic spells not found among the main cast, making them valuable assets. The page details 8 sub-characters: Jiel, Arcuin, Parody, Tarsus, Lin, Minion, Duna, and Ruby. For each character, it lists the chapter they appear in, their primary attack and weapon types, and the specific steps required to recruit them. Many require making particular dialogue choices at key moments,
or meeting battle objectives.
For example, Arcuin requires winning a battle quickly and then choosing to invite her, while recruiting Gricklin or Minion involves mutually exclusive choices after a specific event. Duna is noted as being particularly easy to recruit, joining simply by accepting after a battle. The guide also lists the magic spells each sub-character can learn at various levels, and their associated BP costs. Notably, a warning at the bottom points out that sub-characters typically join at low levels and must be trained using experience points saved up by the party, recommending players hold on to leftover experience if they plan to integrate these characters effectively. This guide serves as essential reading for players looking to expand their party beyond the core members and utilize the diverse abilities the sub-characters offer. This guide provides a strategic roadmap for Black/Matrix, focusing on chapters 2 to 9. It offers a battle-by-battle breakdown, detailing victory conditions, required characters, e.g. Abel, Rebropusu, Gaiusu, Piripo, Yofane, Rupi, and expected enemy levels. Knowing the upcoming challenges enables effective preparation and reduces the need for retries.
The guide includes character abbreviation keys and lists their attack types. Chapter breakdowns highlight objectives like enemy annihilation or boss defeat, e.g. Karen, Heretic Knight, Judah, in scenarios like Escape, Purgatory, and various sections of Temple of the Sun. It emphasizes the crucial early chapters with conditional branches, guiding players through key battles and party additions. This page continues the expert guide for Black/Matrix, picking up the strategic walkthrough from Chapter 4 through Chapter 6. Like the previous section, it meticulously breaks down each battle scenario, detailing the victory conditions, the total experience points awarded, and the specific characters who must participate. It lists the various enemy types you'll face, complete with their levels and attack types, and what items you can expect to drop. Key conditional branches are highlighted, presenting crucial choices that impact the progression, such as deciding whether to pursue the powerful demon Mammon or the equally fearsome Balal, or making critical decisions regarding surrender and exploration that lead to different battles and outcomes. Notable encounters include the Heresy Inquisition in Chapter 4 and the entry of key character Marco into the party in Chapter 6. This guide is invaluable for navigating the game's branching paths and ensuring you're prepared for each challenge, from standard enemy groups to significant boss encounters. This guide analyzes Chapters 7, 8, and 9 of Black/Matrix. Chapter 7 details navigating Sodom and Gomorrah, exploring branching paths that affect battles and enemy encounters, including the addition of Lickland to the party. Chapter 8 covers key battles like Cheap Image and Heaven/Hell, emphasizing a critical choice that can lead to a game over. Many forced party members appear. Chapter 9 focuses on the difficult battle Tortoiseshell, featuring high-level enemies and valuable rewards. The guide recommends revisiting cities for new items and free battle variations, and warns of temporary party member departures like Gaius and Belial. Screenshots are included to aid players. This page features the official guide for Cybertroopers Virtualon, Oratorio Tangram, prominently displaying the game's logo and a dynamic image of a Virtroid mecha. The guide covers everything a player needs to know, from initial encounters with the game for light users to mastering basic battle tactics. It provides introductions to all 11 playable mechs, detailed explanations of controls and systems, and comprehensive strategies for CPU battles. Adding further value for fans, the guide also includes an interview with the game's producer, Huntaro Koji. Priced at 1,500 yen, this 224-page A5-size guide was scheduled for release in mid-September, promising deep dives into the game's mechanics. It's essentially the essential playbook for anyone looking to dominate the virtual battlefield in Oratorio Tangram. This page is dedicated to the conclusion of the beloved Langrisser series, specifically focusing on Langrisser V, which marked the final installment. It features a large title banner for Passion Langrisser Finale,
celebrating the journey with the series and expressing gratitude to the fans for their support over the years. Following this is a heartfelt "Thank you for all users" section from the Langrisser team of 1998, filled with personal illustrations and messages from the developers. It's a warm send-off from the creators to the dedicated players. The Mexican network on Satamaga Corner provides updates from a related radio show, discussing the ending of this particular segment, but also highlighting upcoming Langrisser-related releases like a drama CD, a music CD, figures, and novels, keeping the fan community engaged even after the game series concludes. Finally, the last postcard section showcases some wonderful fan art, including depictions of characters from Langrisser versus like SIG and Lambda, and also characters from earlier titles, demonstrating the deep connection players had with the series. It's a touching collection of messages and art, celebrating the end of an era for Langrisser fans. This page focuses on the exciting offerings from SNK at the JAMA show, held on September 19th and 20th. The article highlights the SNK booth as a must-visit destination packed with new and popular titles. Making its first appearance is the latest entry in the acclaimed fighting series, Samurai Showdown, Fee, Asura's Wrath, featuring the new character Asura and the resurrected Emperor Yuga. The arcade section also features the intense zombie gun shooter Beastbusters, Second Nightmare, challenging players with powerful weapons against hordes of the undead. Currently operating arcade title, The King of Fighters 98, is also a major draw, inviting fans to test their skills. For portable gaming enthusiasts, SNK is showcasing their Neo Geo Pocket lineup, including the fighting game King of Fighters R1 and the soccer title Neo Geo Cup 98, alongside a new portable device called Itsudemo Pocket, featuring multiple games. Beyond the games, the SNK booth is hosting engaging events, including a public recording of the popular Neo Chupi radio show, promising appearances from well-known personalities and voice actors. With this packed schedule of games and events, the SNK booth is set to be a highlight of the JAMA show. This page is dedicated to the world of Elf Corporation, known for their popular dating simulation and adventure games. It features the 5th installment of their Look Elf Fan Club magazine content, highlighting the 2nd volume of their Kredrom newsletter, which is packed with content like original movies and character introductions. A key focus is the Kakusei, also known as Underclass Corner, showcasing an interview with the original artist for the game. Fans can look forward to a poker game feature on the Kredrom, where you can play against characters from Kakusei. There's also a peek at the production status of the Saturn version of Wordsworth. For PC users, Elf offers a Kakusei screensaver collection for Windows 9598, featuring 13 different screensavers, voice collections for characters, calendar art, opening anime, and 35 wallpapers. It's noted that installing everything takes up a significant amount of space. There's also a message board section from Elf themselves, playfully encouraging fans to join the fan club to get the Kredrom and stay connected. Information is provided on joining the fan club, including the fees and application process via mail. This page gives a great overview of Elf's fan activities and supplementary products. This page is dedicated to the latest happenings from Capcom in their Hello, Capcom Volume 58 column. It kicks off by showcasing the new trading cards based on the popular arcade and PlayStation fighting game, Rival Schools, United by Fate. There are a whopping 121 different cards to collect, including special ones featuring original illustrations, offering fans a cool new way to engage with the game's cast. The main event is the announcement of this year's Capcom Popular Character Contest, following up on the tease from last time. The voting system is a bit unique, involving assigning points on postcards, with bonuses for including character illustrations and penalties for disliked characters. It's all set to find out who is the most popular Capcom character this year. They also reveal the results of the previous contest, with Chun-Li from Street Fighter taking the top spot, followed by Darkstalkers' favorites Felicia and Donovan. Characters from Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Red Earth, and Mega Man filled out the top 10, showing a diverse range of fan favorites. Finally, the page features a fan art section called the Big Push Room, displaying impressive illustrations of characters, particularly focusing on Rival Schools and Darkstalkers, sent in by dedicated fans. The next issue is set to appear on September 18th, and will continue coverage of the character contest. The next page features an insightful interview from Capcom's Osaka development building, with key figures Mr. Funamizu and Mr. Kono, discussing their latest projects. The main focus is on the new arcade game, Tech Romancer, referred to by its Japanese title, Chuku Senki Kikayo, which is highlighted as Capcom's centerpiece for the upcoming AM show.
The interview reveals plans for a special art book and novelty merchandise for the game. Beyond the arcade, the conversation turns to console releases. It is a strong desire expressed by Mr. Funamizu to bring Street Fighter Alpha 3 to the Saturn. They confirm that Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and the Capcom Generation series are planned for Saturn releases, and that the national finals for Street Fighter Alpha 3 will be held at the Tokyo Game Show, where other titles like the Dungeons & Dragons arcade games are also expected. Both developers show significant enthusiasm for bringing Tech Romancer to the Dreamcast, discussing its story depth and collaboration with renowned mecha designer Shoji Kawamori. Mr. Kono even suggests ideas for unique features or campaigns for the Dreamcast port, acknowledging that a simple port wouldn't be enough, and roughly half the content might need to be new or reworked. They also touch upon potential challenges, such as adapting the Dreamcast controller for fighting games. The interview provides a great look into Capcom's development priorities and their vision for bringing their arcade hits to home consoles, particularly the Saturn and the promising new Dreamcast. Tech Romancer, a 3D fighting game launching in late September, features 8 unique robots and pilots. The game highlights the flagship, Steel Giant Kikayo, piloted by Junpei Tadu, alongside the versatile Dixon, piloted by Nakato and Haruma. Other robots include the heavily armed Wise Duck, piloted by Gonzalez Arby and Ricky Thomas Herman, the transforming Rafaga, piloted by Simon, the angelic Diana 17, piloted by Reika Amamiya, and the combined Twin Zom V, piloted by Daiichi and Sora Umeno. Adding unique elements, the game features Porin-chan and her super junk robot Boron, and the mysterious Palshan, piloted by Kai and Kai. This page dives into the details of the unlockable characters in Street Fighter Alpha 3. It features profiles and move lists for M. Bison, Julie, and Junie, who appear when certain criteria are met. M. Bison, the tyrannical Shadaloo leader, returns with a unique Alpha 3 moveset, including variations of dash punches and the Buffalo Head, showcasing his deadly power. Julie and Junie, 2 of Bison's deadly dolls, are also highlighted. Julie is presented as a beautiful killing machine with rapid moves like Cannon Spike and Sniper Arrow, while Junie is described as a tragic soldier focusing on projectile attacks like Spiral Arrow and Psycho Shield, demonstrating their distinct fighting styles despite their shared origins. The page includes screenshots showing these characters in action, and detailed tables outlining their special and super combo commands across different ISM styles. It also provides instructions on how to unlock these hidden characters, which involves interacting with the score ranking screen and player select menu. This page provides an in-depth strategy guide for Cybertroopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram, focusing on how understanding the game's diverse stages can give you a tactical advantage. It emphasizes that mastering the environment is crucial for success. The guide explains that there are 10 unique stages, and understanding their specific features is essential. It delves into key aspects players must consider. First, the presence of level differences and slopes is highlighted. Terrain affects movement and attack effectiveness, so using high ground or avoiding disadvantageous positions is key. Next, the article stresses the importance of utilizing stage obstacles. Rocks, structures, and other environmental elements can provide cover or be used strategically, though some weapons can bypass them. Knowing when and how to use cover is a vital defensive and offensive skill. Lastly, the impact of water stages is discussed. Water affects movement speed and weapon properties, often reducing the effectiveness of laser attacks, while potentially increasing projectile impact. Adapting your strategy to aquatic combat is necessary. The page includes screenshots illustrating these concepts, showing Virtualoids navigating varied terrain and using cover. Overall, this guide emphasizes that environmental awareness is a core element of Virtual On strategy. This page dives deep into the 10 unique stages of Cybertroopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram, building on the previous discussion about environmental strategy. It emphasizes that mastering each stage's layout and obstacles is key to victory. The page provides essential data for each stage, including its overall dimensions. It then breaks down every environment individually, starting with the floating carrier, noting its biased obstacle placement. The airport highlights the importance of early movement, featuring large buildings for cover. Undersea Plant is uniquely an underwater stage, where weapon properties change and movement is affected. Abandoned Quarry focuses on using the tall rock formations, while Ascent Corridor is notable for having no obstacles in its center. Moving on, Sanctuary introduces tactics around a central turret and platforms,
and public port requires careful attention to landing points due to scattered obstacles like spaceships and boxes. Storage depot features dynamic conveyor belts that affect item placement and potentially deflect attacks. Blank Frank challenges players with tall, strategically placed floating obstacles. Finally, Unholy Cathedral warns players to be cautious when hiding behind its unique bobbing obstacles. Each stage description details the types and counts of obstacles present, such as buildings, rocks, containers, and floating objects, providing valuable tactical information. Screenshots accompany each section, showing the distinct visual style and key features of the environment. This detailed breakdown serves as a vital guide for players looking to gain a tactical edge by understanding their battlefield. This page shifts focus from the battlefields to the formidable opponents within them, providing a comprehensive guide to tackling the CPU bosses in Cybertroopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram. The primary targets are the mid-boss, CB-97 Bradtos, and the final boss, Tangram.
Bradtos is encountered after defeating the Stage 5 boss.
Its weakness lies in its central core, which is initially shielded. As the battle progresses, the core will be exposed, allowing you to deal damage. But beware, its attacks escalate over time. The page details Bradtos attack patterns, A, B, C, D, including multi-directional Vulcans, horizontally sweeping lasers, slow beam shots, and disc attacks, offering brief evasion tactics like walking and side dashing through attack gaps. Following Bradtos, the final boss, Tangram, awaits. Known for its intense assault of concentrated lasers, 8-way lasers, beam attacks, and disc shots, Tangram requires careful movement and patience. The strategy centers on striking its exposed core while deftly evading its onslaught. The page also includes a valuable section detailing specific strategies for defeating Bradtos with each of the playable Virtuoids, offering tailored advice on attack timing and evasion techniques for characters like Temjin, Raiden, Grizzlysbok, Cypher, Feyen, and others. This is crucial reading for players looking to optimize their approach based on their chosen machine. It seems the reviewer highly recommends mastering these boss encounters quickly due to their increasing difficulty. This page dives deep into the ultimate challenge in Cybertroopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram. The final boss, Tangram, located in the 9th plant reactor. The guide emphasizes that the controls change slightly for this encounter, and warns that a timeout results in a mission failed, underscoring the need for aggressive, focused attacks. Tangram's core is the key weakness, becoming vulnerable at specific times throughout the fight. The page details 3 primary attack patterns, labeled A, B, and C, which include devastating energy balls, ring lasers, diffused lasers, and potent concentrated lasers. A simple diagram shows the sequence in which these patterns occur. Crucially, the guide provides tailored strategies for defeating Tangram using various Virtuaroids, including Temjin, Raiden, Grizzlysbok, Cypher, Feyen the Knight, Balbados, APHARMD the Battler, APHARMD the Striker, Spesinef, and Dordre. These sections detail specific attack timing, movement, and weapon usage recommendations for each machine, reflecting the intricate balance and unique capabilities of the cast. Screenshots illustrate Tangram's menacing appearance and some of its signature laser attacks. The comprehensive nature of these specific strategies suggests that beating Tangram requires mastering your chosen Virtuoid's strengths and understanding the boss's patterns intimately. This page provides the final installment of the Balbados analysis for Cybertroopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram, focusing on newly discovered tactics, the Pyramid, and a powerful special mind. It highlights the Pyramid Cage attack, detailing various input methods and their effectiveness, noting that while some forms don't fully restrain, they can still cancel incoming attacks. The most impactful new discovery is the Demon Mine, a fast, knockdown-heavy special mine that's deceptively easy to deploy, even during certain attack animations like a half-cancel. The guide explains the standard deployment method, involving specific ERL states and timing, as well as a more practical technique using a half-cancel. A crucial section is dedicated to evading this demon mine, which is more difficult to avoid than standard mines, especially when launched from unexpected angles. It stresses that getting close makes evasion particularly challenging. Finally, the page explains how to evade Balbados's flying ERL attack, which uniquely approaches from the rear right relative to the player's machine, creating a specific blind spot highlighted in a diagram. While the ERL's position is fixed on the map, the required evasion direction changes based on the player's facing, making it essential to understand the relative positioning. Dashing towards the indicated rear right blind spot is recommended. Ultimately, the text suggests that aggressively attacking Barbados may be the best countermeasure against its tricky mine tactics. This page provides a detailed breakdown of FAN-KN in Cybertrooper's Virtual On Oratorio Tangram, focusing on its potent hypermode. Activating when health drops below 50%, hypermode not only changes her appearance to gold, but significantly enhances her capabilities. A core benefit of hypermode is the instant recovery of armor to 100% and a general boost to mobility, making her much harder to hit and improving offensive pressure. Attacks are powered up with better homing and increased damage. Notably, the -RW becomes a three-way shot, providing increased coverage. Advanced tactics covered include strategically taking damage to intentionally trigger hypermode when the opportunity is favorable, though caution is advised when already low on health. The page also explains how Varmar reduction changes. In hypermode, LW attacks lose their Varmar reduction ability, while moving crouch CW and moving crouch LW become strong Varmar depleters. Finally, the ribbon barrier, which activates during standing CW and right turbo CW, can nullify small damage attacks, emphasizing the need for precise timing due to its shorter duration compared to the previous game. The page concludes with special thanks and mentions fan websites dedicated to sharing information about Oratorio Tangram tactics and community interaction. This page from the AM2 Express Weekly Corner is packed with exciting reveals for Daytona USA 2. The highlight is the full disclosure of numerous hidden techniques that add new ways to experience the game. It details how to change the messages on the electric billboard near the finish line, showing examples ranging from Sega and Real Hot Race to more surprising phrases like "Go to Hell" and "Alert," which vary depending on the lap count. Another fun trick allows players to transform a specific rotating troop signboard into a tire texture. Beyond these cosmetic changes, the page also covers gameplay affecting extras. It explains how to perform a perfect rocket start by carefully managing the engine RPM. There's also a hidden option to switch the background music to a vocal version performed by Takenobu Mitsuyoshi, a fan favorite. Finally, a reverse mode is revealed, where players can race backwards from the start, and intriguingly, times are still recorded in this mode. Screenshots throughout the page clearly demonstrate these techniques in action. The contents section also notes that the highly anticipated Spike Out has finally been released. The AM2 Express reveals hidden features in Daytona USA 2. Beginners can make the waterfall disappear. Intermediate racers can find hidden wildlife, with varying numbers of animals. Experts can use the pit lane traffic light color to anticipate AI moves. They can also trigger a troop object, or make a giant spinning screw in the port warehouse. Hitting the ice wall on the intermediate course creates ice spray effects. Beyond visuals, there are hidden VR camera views, including unique cockpit angles. The game also features operator settings like campaign mode for tracking rankings and an endurance mode, allowing races up to 100 laps, requiring tire and fuel management. This demonstrates the depth of detail AM2 incorporated into the game. This page is dedicated to the announcement and upcoming showing of the arcade fighting action game Spike Out at the AM show on September 19th-20th. The page features a large illustration of the game's protagonist, Spike, along with several screenshots showing the game's 3D environments and multiplayer brawls. The article highlights that Spike Out, running on the Sega Model 3 Step 2 board and scheduled to begin operation in September, will be unveiled and playable at the AM show. This offers attendees a chance for a hands-on experience with what is described as a next-generation network game. Following this, there's an interview with producer Toshihiro Nagoshi as the game nears completion. He discusses the game's unique control scheme, detailing the functions of the S, shift, B, beat, C, charge, and J, jump, buttons. Nagoshi emphasizes the importance of the new shift and charge mechanics, explaining that shift allows tactical movement without changing direction, useful for evading attacks, while charge attacks vary based on how long the button is held. He describes Spike Out as a fighting action game, and suggests that players visiting the AM show should focus on mastering these new controls and the strategic use of shift for cooperative play and creating powerful combos. This page delves deeper into the network cooperative play features of Spike Out. building on the previous discussion of its unique controls and presentation. Highlighting the digital battle online aspect, the article emphasizes how the game leverages different player viewpoints, allowing each participant to see the action from their own perspective. This isn't just for show. It's crucial for tactical play, enabling coordinated attacks, rescues, and strategic positioning. Key cooperative mechanics are showcased, including powerful combined attacks that players perform together to clear enemies. The game also offers variety in combat based on character pairings and the order of attacks. Intriguingly, the page mentions the existence of hidden routes within the stages, suggesting there's more to explore than just the main path, adding replayability. Finally, the article briefly addresses the possibility of a Dreamcast port, noting the extensive trial and error involved in the arcade game's development, especially concerning network features and fundamental mechanics like grabbing, indicating the complexity and depth of the game's design. It seems like a lot of thought went into making the core gameplay feel just right. This page features the fourth part of a special interview series focusing on SEGA Rally 2, specifically highlighting the passion and commitment that went into its development by the professionals at SEGA AMR&D department. Number 12. Pictured are key development staff, including Jun Taniguchi, Isao Matsumoto, Kenji Arai, and Hirotaka Machida. The interview delves into the challenges faced during production, such as the extensive negotiations required to secure car licenses, which were notably difficult for a rally game. The team actively sought feedback to improve the game, leading to the decision to increase the initial car roster from 4 vehicles to between 8 and 10, including popular cars active in real-world rallies, requiring further negotiations with manufacturers. They discussed the importance of the game's presentation and navigation systems, mentioning the effort to improve the latter from the first Sega Rally, even consulting with actual rally drivers. The staff emphasized that achieving realism wasn't just about graphics, but also the overall direction and feel of the game. The page also touches on the positive collaborative spirit with car manufacturers and related companies like Michelin and Castrol, which made the project feel particularly meaningful. The page includes a gameplay screenshot showcasing the snowy stages, and a photo of a dedicated SEGA Rally 2 special version arcade cabinet. This page continues the deep dive into the development of SEGA Rally 2, shifting focus to the key persons who served as advisors. We see Yoshio Kataoka and Yoshio Fujimoto, both involved in real-world racing, who contributed their expertise to the game. Their input was crucial, especially as the previous page discussed the importance of realism and driver feedback in improving navigation and car behavior. The interview highlights their perspective on making the game enjoyable for both hardcore rally fans and general game players, emphasizing that realism goes beyond just graphics. A significant part of the page visually documents the development progress of SEGA Rally 2. Titled, Steps to Completion, it shows screenshots from different stages of development as featured in past issues of the magazine: January 23rd, February 6th, February 27th, March 6th, March 27th. Each stage is marked with a completion percentage, illustrating the evolution from early builds, 30%, 40%, with initial course structures like forest and mountain, through stages where more courses like Riviera and Desert were added, and visual details improved, 70%, to the final 100% version where car coloring and handling were refined. This provides a fascinating look at how the game took shape over several months. Finally, there's a brief update from the AM12 team mentioning their current work on Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, and a call for readers to send in questions about their work. This page features advertisements for official strategy guides covering 2 popular arcade titles. The top section is dedicated to the guide for Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge, the high-octane sequel to the original arcade racing phenomenon. This a 5 full-color guide spans 96 pages and is available for 1,200 yen. It promises in-depth strategies crafted by expert players, covering techniques for dominating races, including tips for handling both manual and automatic transmissions. Below, you'll find the guide for Dynamite Deca 2, released internationally as Dynamite Cop. This official guide for the acclaimed Beat 'em Up is also a 5-size, full color, and contains a substantial 112 pages, priced at 1,300 yen. It's packed with essential information, including complete walkthroughs for every mission, strategies for taking down the challenging bosses, details on the distinct playstyles of the various characters like Bruno Dellinger and Gene Ivy seen in the vibrant artwork, and even reveals some fascinating behind-the-scenes development secrets. Both must-have guides for fans were published by SoftBank.
This page presents a weekly horoscope feature titled, This Week's Fortune-Telling by Hakozaki's Mother, covering the period from September 11th to the 18th. It introduces the astrologer, Hakozaki's mother, noting her extensive experience in the field. The page also highlights this week's lucky person, identified as Shizuka Nakamoto from Graduation S, whose forecast suggests facing stress and headaches, but emphasizes the importance of seeking support from friends or teachers. Overall luck for the week is summarized for money, health, work/study, and love, indicating challenges across the board, such as insufficient funds at key moments and slow progress in work or studies. The main section provides detailed horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, divided into forecasts for male and female readers, each accompanied by charming, simple illustrations. The forecasts offer specific advice, tailored to each sign and gender, for navigating the challenging week ahead. The page concludes with a legend explaining illustration styles and a simple key indicating the general mood or success level for each forecast: excellent, normal, or not great. This page features the Ultimate Glitches Reader Submission Corner, highlighting secret techniques for SEGA Saturn games sent in by readers. Prizes like Saturn software and book vouchers are awarded based on the rank of the submitted glitch. One featured game is Another Memories, Starlight Marie. After clearing the game, a hidden album mode and bonus voice acting are accessible. The trick involves exploring the school area early in the game and clicking a specific spot on the mountain behind the school. This triggers an event with a mysterious man holding a camera. Following this, a photo is sent just before graduation, unlocking the bonus content. Screenshots show the school exterior, the man taking a photo, and a lineup of characters. Another game covered is Kobe R. This section reveals two useful glitches. One allows players to move without consuming gasoline, perfect for traversing the map efficiently. The other lets you turn regular gasoline into high-octane fuel. The method involves filling up with regular gas until it's almost full, then adding high-octane to top it off, which somehow converts the entire tank. Screenshots illustrate the game's map view and a gas station interaction. The page concludes with a call for readers to send in their own SEGA Saturn glitches and tips to the magazine's editorial department, encouraging clear explanations for submission consideration. This page features the SEGA Saturn Weekly Soft Review, previewing upcoming software releases from September 11th to 17th, with hands-on impressions from staff and guest reviewers. The reviews serve as buying advice for readers. Featured are two titles: Simulation RPG Tool and Genso Suikoden. Simulation RPG Tool is a program allowing users to create their own simulation RPGs. Reviewers found it challenging for newcomers, but praised the freedom to build stories and characters. Despite some limitations in graphical options, the ability to realize one's ideas was highlighted as a strong point. The average score is 6.66. Genso Suikoden is an RPG, known for its classic style and the quest to recruit 108 characters. Reviewers appreciated the solid, traditional gameplay, the ease of progression, and the enjoyable story focusing on gathering allies. While graphics may feel a bit dated, the overall experience and character recruitment were found to be highly satisfying. It received an average score of 7.0. The page includes comments from a variety of reviewers, including female users, staff writers, and guest writers, sharing their personal takes on the games. This page presents a reader giveaway for SEGA Saturn Magazine fans. The main attraction is the chance to win various items, including SEGA Saturn software itself. The image depicts characters from a visual novel-style game. Other prizes include the soundtrack for the game, Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, cool Sonic-themed calculator key holders, a cap featuring the Marvelous Entertainment logo, and a practical video game selector device for managing multiple console connections. Entry is via postcard, a common method for magazine giveaways at the time. The page also contains standard magazine sections, such as staff listings, general information, and announcements for winners of past contests. This page is a striking advertisement announcing the home console release of the acclaimed vertical scrolling shooting game, Strikers 1945-2. Having made a huge impact in arcades since 1997, the game is coming to both PlayStation and SEGA Saturn, bringing its intense aerial combat and classic Sikyo gameplay to a wider audience. The ad features detailed renders of several iconic WW2 aircraft playable in the game,
such as the Play 38 Lightning, a 6-meter, and Me 262 Schwalbe,
alongside screenshots showcasing the frantic bullet patterns and boss battles.
The release date is prominently displayed as October 22, 1998. A major part of the advertisement highlights a W-Chance campaign giveaway tied to the release, offering various prizes to lucky fans who participate, including original game t-shirts, pin badges, flight jackets, and even limited edition plastic models of the aircraft. This page is all about the highly anticipated conclusion to the epic Sega Saturn trilogy, Shining Force 2I. Specifically, it's promoting Scenario 3, titled, or Hyuheki no Jishinkyu, which is the final chapter in the Legend of Light trilogy. The grand story that began in Scenario 1 with the rescue of Prince Medion, continued through Scenario 2 focusing on Medion's journey, now arrives at its climax. The striking illustration prominently features the three main protagonists of the trilogy, Synbios from Scenario 1, Prince Medion from Scenario 2, and Julian, the hero of this final Scenario 3, positioned centrally. The page highlights the game's advanced visuals and real-time CGI sequences, pushing the Sega Saturn's capabilities to deliver an immersive experience. A key feature emphasized is the synchronization system, which allows player choices and save data from Scenarios 1 and 2 to influence the story and the final outcome in Scenario 3, truly making it your own personal conclusion. Screenshots show the detailed 3D tactical battle maps, character portraits, and event scenes that the series is known for. There's also information about a limited-time premium disc giveaway containing bonus content for fans, such as character viewers, a sound test, and special battles. Shining Force 2I Scenario 3 was a massive release, dropping on September 23rd and completing one of the Saturn's most ambitious RPG projects.